All right, I think we're live. No.
We're live.
Yeah.
Only 7 minutes late. Greetings,
Not bad.
ladies and gentlemen. This might look very strange on this channel because most of the 9.9 female audience that sometimes watches my channel, can't assume everything, is here on the stream. So there's gonna be a lot of dudes in the chat, I'm thinking. We're here to talk about I'm with the ladies today because I hate women. And we're here to talk about The Witcher, which is written by a woman who hates men. So we've got that going for us. Is this the Simcast? It's too early to make the joke. I'll come back to that later. I will come back to that later. Don't worry about that first couple of minutes of the stream. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
Off to a good start.
Really off to a good start. There we go. Greetings, angels. Your next adventure will be trying to survive.
Hey, you've been bragging for like the last 2 weeks saying that you were going to have a harem with you on here.
This is true.
True.
Yay.
So there you go.
Dreams are real.
Dreams are real. Look it up, chat. It's all good. I know I'm pretty. We're going to start with she was canceled, but then not, because you're only as canceled as you allow yourself to be. Carolyn from the Rippaverse. What's up?
Hello. It's my first official appearance on Nerdrotic. This is exciting.
Yeah, you had an unofficial one in the background.
Yes.
Friday Night Tights at the Dallas house. That was fun.
It was fun. Good time. You stuck us all in the kitchen.
I did. Where you belong.
Barefoot, I hope.
There you go. There you go. You remember her from our House of the Dragon streams here on this channel. She also has her own channel, and she has some of the best takes on the internet. We have Jayne Theory with us. What's up, Jayne?
Hello. Hey guys. I'm so happy to be here to discuss this very insane season.
Ties are already starting.
Yeah. There's a lot to say. But I'm happy to be here.
We did a whole review before the show, right?
We kind of did.
So we might have to repeat ourselves a little bit. Thanks for being here, Jayne.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. And you'll be back when House of the Dragon comes back. That's the one show I'm actually looking forward to. Can't wait.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And you would know her from Friday Night Tights and her own channel, Zia Anderson. How are you, Zia?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I am really excited to talk about this because I bitched about it enough to my husband and he's sick of hearing it. So I can do it with you guys now. It's good.
That's how I had to start a channel. My wife got sick of hearing me like, what the fuck's going on with comic books? She's like, I don't give a shit. Somebody does.
He does care too, which goes to show like how like I need to calm down.
And of course we have she doesn't like
People.
Our producer, excellent girl.
Oh, hello. Apparently I'm very similar to, how did you pronounce it? The Ishnarth? I don't remember.
Ashna?
Ishna. Very similar to the Ishna. But anyways, I watched the show. It sucked, and there wasn't enough Geralt, unfortly. Those are the main takes.
There was almost no Geralt. I don't understand. It's
called
The
The
got a lot of
Like, why?
Hey, there was a lot of scenes of him sitting at tables, sitting next to beds. He even cried a little bit.
Oh God, he did cry, and he said, "I love you." It was nauseating.
Yeah, he fought two monsters.
Yeah,
2.5. We'll see.
3, technically 3.
It's like barely
there's the blob.
Yeah.
There's the body blob, the Ashna, and then the Jackapace.
The Jackapace, but like he didn't beat that. The Jackapace was the one at the end, or the Ashna?
The Jackapace was the one in the beginning in the maze.
Yeah, that's like the armadillo.
Yes.
That was
and then there was the blob from inside.
Yep, the lady blob.
That was
And
really
then-
weird.
It reminded me
Yeah.
of The Forest. Have you guys ever played The Forest?
I
Yeah.
played Sons of the Forest.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Does it remind you of one of those creepy, like a bunch of body parts just blobbing
yeah.
around?
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
Have you guys ever played Inside? It made me
Yes.
think of the
At the end,
at the very end of the game.
was chasing the boy when you're trying to
Yes.
run out. Oh my god,
It was
it
like
does.
the Lauren Hissrich intersectional feminist version of the thing.
Oh no. Come to real life, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta wonder, like, is it porn for these people? Did they get off on like, I love to see women subjugated and then get revenge on men? I think that's like a porn thing for them. I think it's a fetish,
can see
especially with
that.
Lauren Hissrich. I mean, the freaking Witcher was incompetent men seeking help from women. That's
Yeah.
the plot
Yes.
synopsis.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it
Even if you have
was.
to make the women up in the process.
Yes, and like I guess not my favorite book. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's not my favorite book that it's based on, and it is very series centric, and that's
Yeah.
probably why Lauren Hissrich is like, oh, we're doing this one word for word, yeah.
So when
and-
they said source material, they're like they meant source material, but not necessarily the best source.
Not the best source,
Yeah.
not necessarily in that order. And as Jayne said before the show, they added just a bunch of shit that they didn't need to add. But like,
And
Oh, so it was like The Hobbit.
Yeah.
yeah.
or better. I mean, Hobbit's better.
The Hobbit is
Well, the
better,
rings
but-
of power. The
Hobbit.
rings of power. Sort of like that. Because they
Yeah.
added all this extra stuff that was completely unnecessary, even if you are a feminist. Like this book leans heavily into women's stories and women, making decisions, political decisions, and all that. You could have gone with that. But instead, she chose yet again to diminish Geralt and pretty much all the other men who weren't gender swapped or made gay.
Exactly. Yep.
Which, by the way, with the whole Yasker thing made gay, that came out of left field. Like they just
Yes.
decided for the first 2 seasons, he was like this crazy womanizer that was just
Yeah.
banging any woman that will move. And then
Mhm.
suddenly in season 3, they're like, oh, by the way, he totally bangs a bunch of dudes and dwarves too. Like no big deal. And you're
Oh,
like,
and
wait a second.
polymorph, and suggest that he has sex with them when they're animals.
Which like what?
Yeah.
Like it just came so out of left field.
It's
He's
so
a womanizer, but he's not that bad.
It's like they were trying to
he's
do
a,
what
he's
they
a little slut, but come on.
a little slut.
But he
It's like
likes
they were-
women.
Yes,
He
yes.
doesn't like men.
It's like they were trying to turn him into Captain Jack. And
not
yeah.
only did they make him go for Radovid, they aged up Radovid like
Yeah.
10 years for him
creepy.
to be able to get with Radovid.
Ugh.
I don't
Because
like it.
Radovid's a little boy in the books.
No, I don't like it.
For their mind to even go there tells you exactly what you're dealing with. That they looked at this child and said, you know what? We're going to make him a love interest.
Yep.
What?
Just put a
Sounds
few
like
years,
Hollywood.
put a few years on them to make the Republicans happy so they won't complain. I mean, personally, they probably would have kept them young if they had their druthers, but yeah, I don't like Hollywood very much. It was
Ugh.
that was really weird. That was very, very weird. And remember the old adage, or maybe not, because none of you are as old as I am, but there was the whole with moonlighting, right? With Dave and Maddie, there was the all will they or won't they? Now it's will gay or won't gay.
Oh my gosh. That's a great way to put it, though.
I don't care so much if it's like part of the character's original story or if they started it from the beginning, but it's not. They just decided to shoehorn it in like in the middle of the 3rd season for no fucking reason. Like, what was the point of that?
To check a box.
Was
Yeah.
there a straight sex scene in this? I'm trying to think.
Just
no.
Geralt and Yennefer.
Well, at the,
But
the
no.
last episode.
But they didn't show it. They just was before and after.
No.
But they showed a lesbian
girls?
scene and
That
yeah.
was a weird scene.
Well,
Yeah.
That was
was
so
a scene.
weird.
Oh, the one with Philippa?
2 girls.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Philippa,
like I
The,
don't know
the
what
girl
was
that looked like a
happening.
guy.
the girl
Yeah.
that looked like
It was
yeah.
very androgynous.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It
Yeah.
was like,
That
it
was
had
your
me
day
questioning.
then.
Like, is it a girl?
Yeah,
Is it
that
a
was
boy?
a
Like,
they,
what are
them.
they trying to go
I
off
think
of?
I think she was a girl, or at least.
The continent is super progressive, everyone. Just wanted to point that out. It's a really progressive continent. So that they're super diverse and include, but they're still killing each other for what looks like no reason. Why are the elves so fucking dumb?
I hate the elves. I hated them in this
They deserve
season.
to die.
Yes.
That elf queen. Oh
She
man.
is
Oh, she's annoying.
Oh.
So
Mhm.
annoying. There's no part of me that's rooting for them, even though it's like, because at that point it's like, we tried to live side by side with the humans. Now we're going to kill them all. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so just so you know how my channel is a stream of consciousness. We're not going to break down each episode because, like, I don't even want to think about this very much anymore. I watched them all. I actually watched the first 3 twice, and then it was Friday, right? And then I'm like watching the 4th episode. I'm just fast forwarding, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna review this, so I'm now going to have to watch it tomorrow. So I watched it again in full order, so I didn't miss anything, and I hated it even more. It was much better to fast forward through it, to be honest with you, because this is a different show from season 1. Season 1 is like tolerable because it's mostly about Carol. I did too, for the most part. When I started going somewhere, they were like they were building the world. They were introducing lore. You know, they were alluding to the monoliths and all that stuff. And it was like, you know, the archaeological dig with like there was some cool stuff. That's what I like. But then season 2 was really bad.
Yeah.
And this is 1,000 times worse. Like it's 1,000 times worse. Geralt is barely in this show. When he is, he's ineffectual.
Demonized.
Yeah. I think Lauren Hissrich Schmidt, whatever her name is, has a fetish of emasculating men. Like maybe she's a dominatrix, a lesbian dominatrix. I have no fucking idea, but she does not like dudes.
It is so unnecessary. And that last episode, I think the last episode made me the most mad out of the entire season that they dropped. It's like they were trying to do the Boondock Saints, but terribly. Like
that was such a time waste.
Seriously.
Like that whole episode. They could have actually added on a little bit more in depth if they wouldn't have just kept going back and kept going back. Like that was so much filler.
Yes.
And they kept repeating the exact same scenes with the exact same dialogue.
Thank you. And they're like, this is really clever. We're going to waste an entire episode showing you what they basically do is the unreliable narrator twist. Remember what they did in season 1, which I didn't have a problem with. They did stuff out of order. They do this scene out of order and they show people talking, looking at other people talking, and then you get the same scene of the other people talking while they're looking at them talk. It was a waste of time. It was a trick to hide
so badly.
Fucking horrible writing. It was repetitive. That episode only needed to be 10 minutes long.
That episode didn't need to exist.
It didn't need to exist.
No, that episode and the 3rd one were just the absolute worst.
Yeah, and Robbie Amell, like they bring
I felt so bad for Robbie. Oh my god. I love Robbie.
I really like him from it was The Flash, right? That he was in? Or was it Green Arrow? I'm forgetting now. It's been so long.
His brother was Green Arrow.
Brother.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. But he was also in one of those shows.
Robbie Amell has been in. When has he been?
I liked Upload on Amazon. That was a really good show.
He's not a bad actor, but I kind of honestly think he was a bad choice for an elf.
Well,
I didn't like his voice.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Yeah,
none of the elves looked right though. Like, why do the elves look like basic humans with pointy ears?
Yeah, they didn't have any elf features. Like Phil Evandrel is like one of the worst elves I've ever seen. Like, why did you cast this schlubby white dude? I don't get it. Like, elves are supposed to be really beautiful. I don't understand.
Majestic.
Yes.
Like, to be like higher beings. And like supposed to be all wise and just like, why are you doing this to them?
They're even more.
And speaking of that, the body positivity mages.
Oh, yeah.
They're supposed to be beautiful, but no, not this time around.
They did Rita dirty.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah.
But that's pure sexual feminism.
The headmistress.
Okay.
Like she's the headmistress at Air.
Oh, the redhead, right?
No, the black lady, right?
No, yeah, the bigger black lady.
Margarita,
so whenever like not Tris, but Ciri is trying to run after the bit with the wyvern. Rita's the one who catches her, and that's whenever Yen takes them to the bathhouse.
Thankfully, although I was hoping to not see her at all, what is her name? The other black chick that was drinking the wine.
Fringilla.
Fringilla.
Yeah,
I was
Fringilla.
hoping to never
Oh
see
my
her
God.
ever again.
Ever.
Thankfully, she
That-
was not in it much, but what the hell was she doing there at all?
And she put on some COVID weight.
Oh, yeah, she did.
The scene of her dancing and partying and drinking.
Oh,
How was that there? Like they kept
Why?
every time they cut away from Geralt, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like Fringilla, and it's like Yasker being like, well, is he gonna be gay with this dude?
Yeah.
Oh, totally gonna be gay. And they drag that on. There's an entire conversation about it with another woman, and it's like, oh
as
God.
he's banging her, he
Vespula?
bangs her again.
yeah.
Yes.
And they talk
the
about
only accurate thing in that scene was like Vespula throwing his stuff out the window.
Oh yeah, I didn't mind that
Oh,
part
that was
that
funny.
was very yeah, it
was
was
funny.
funny. It was very Yasker. You're like, oh, that guy.
oh,
getting
that's
into-
happened to all dudes at one time.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's what's so frustrating is that when they stick to the book parts, it's actually good. But when they go off and try to write their own thing, their narratives suck. And I don't know why they don't understand that.
No,
You guys are not good or creative. Please stop.
you know,
Yes.
if Dan and Dave did anything right in this world, it was to prove to stay on the damn books. Because once you get off them, you expose that you don't have any talent other than adapting books.
Exactly.
I would have been happy with The Witcher had, like you said, I really like season 1. I like the world they were building. I like the cool stuff they were getting into. I would have been happy if they made it a little bit more of like a monster of the week type of thing.
Mhm.
Like every episode or every other episode, Geralt's fighting some new monster and their story sort of woven in between it. That would have been cool. But they just, I don't understand. All the politics get so boring and so tedious, and it's just not fun to watch.
I just want to double check. Zia, you're a woman.
I am. Last time I checked.
Did you hear what the woman said she wanted in the Witcher show? She wanted more Witcher. So if you're going to embellish
Witcher.
something that doesn't require a lot of writing,
Mhm.
use a monster from the lore and have Witcher fight a damn monster, which he
That's-
doesn't do.
All I wanted. That's all I wanted. And I don't even dislike Ciri or Yennefer. I actually like when they're kind of all together. That's one thing that I did enjoy at
Mhm.
first when they were sort of showing that dynamic between Ciri and Yennefer and Geralt, sort of how she's like their adopted daughter and they really care about her. I didn't mind that part if they had kind of kept them together as sort of a family and they got to go off and do what they got to do when they got to do it. But it's just went downhill from there.
Once
So
they left
fast.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
One thing
Ciri's
I
just-
didn't understand was why they kind of branched off from Yen and Ciri going to the temple
Exactly.
for Yen to train Ciri. Because that entire beginning of the first episode is completely off book.
Yes.
I have a theory. It's so
What?
that Ciri can kill the monster on the boat.
Oh, because she wants to go back to Witcher training, not just her
Yeah.
sorcery train. That's actually a good theory. You're probably right. Because
Mhm.
they wanted to
Mhm.
show, see, girl strong too.
Girls kill
Well-
monsters.
And they also wanted to have Yennefer be the voiceover of the first episode
Exactly.
to show you who's the main character of the story. Okay.
Those
You know,
letters were so dumb.
dear
Dear
friend.
friend.
No.
Shut
I
up.
will say those are actually in the book because she's petty as shit in the book.
Ah.
She
that
is
wasn't shown as petty,
extremely
though.
petty. Yeah, she's
Yeah, it
extremely
doesn't-
petty in the book.
But that's the thing. They completely screw over her character in the show. Like, she's not coming
She's
across
not a
as someone who's
badass
very
in the show.
intelligent. No, she's
She's not a
complete idiot
badass. She doesn't command a room when she walks into it
at
like
all.
she's supposed to. Like all of these other mages and sorcerers are supposed to be like, oh my god, it's
In
Yennefer.
awe.
Like we know who she is. Like
Right,
you
she's
don't
very
get that
grovelly.
presence from her in the show.
No, she never gets that moment. And
Mm-mm.
yet such a big deal is made of it in the books.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She does spend a lot of the season groveling.
Yes.
Which is pathetic.
Yen doesn't grovel. Yen does not grovel at all.
Well, I mean, she spent an entire season without magic, which
Which isn't in the book.
I hated that too.
That pissed me off that they added that because
Pitiful.
fire magic. So I'm curious as to how they're going to do that because Ciri is going to be dabbling with fire magic at the end of this season.
Mm-hmm.
But she's
So-
too powerful, so she won't lose her magic. I bet. I bet bet you that's what they're gonna do.
That is exactly what they're gonna do. Like, okay, like you just completely put it in this plot that like if you mess with fire magic, you're gonna lose your stuff, and then they're gonna go this way.
Yeah.
I hope they don't do that. That would be
Forget about
annoying.
It looks like they're setting up. Oh, I don't want to get too far ahead, but the big battle with Vilgefort with Geralt.
Yes.
And that's probably going to be, they'll probably use that as an in-canon thing to explain why it looks different, or they're just going to go, if they get another season, which I don't know. I don't see a lot of people talking about this. I don't see even people have a desire to hate watch it at this point. Did you see any? I saw zero conversation on Twitter about it at all.
None.
No.
Nope. I saw more about Indiana Jones pretty much.
Yeah,
this weekend it got overshadowed.
It's
I will
very
say
overshadowed.
the only thing that I really enjoyed from this season was the complete misdirection that they used with them kind of thinking everything is on Stregobor whenever it's actually Vilgefortz. I think they actually did well with that with Yen and Geralt.
Oh,
And
that
kind
last
of the misdirection
figuring it out.
that Vilgefortz is kind of the mastermind behind the whole thing.
Yeah, you're right. That was actually good because I didn't really see it coming.
I just wish that first
thing.
part didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
wish
just
the whole
basically
thing
the
didn't
whole
exist. I mean,
episode.
there's like, is there good things in it? Graham McTavish Dijkstra, like he's fucking great in everything he does.
I love him
Yes.
as Dijkstra. I
Yeah.
think he's a fantastic casting for Dijkstra. I think Sabrina was a good casting. I love Yarpen Zegrin. I thought he was a great casting. I'm just glad that Dandelion or Yaskir's wig is better in this season.
You think so?
It's so much better than last season. Like his little comb over, like last season was so bad.
Oh my god.
It was so bad.
But
And,
so
like,
much else is
series-
bad though. Like the costumes generally are worse.
They're
like you were
bad.
saying, in the
Yes.
back, the lighting is worse. The
So
set design is worse. Everything looks like they lost half their budget.
I think
mhm.
They
did.
might have. Yeah.
So if you go look at episode 1 of season 2, Ciri's wig is actually like decent looking. But if you look at the rest of the season, her wig is horrible. And then luckily it looked like they did a little bit better with her on season 3. But why is she wearing so much makeup?
Her makeup is
Yes,
terrible.
she is
Why is she
wearing
wearing
all-
so much makeup?
She's a child who's out battling monsters and on the run, and she's got like time to do
why?
her face all the
Too much
blush.
contouring.
The contour.
I think it's
Absolutely
because
too much
they're trying
contouring.
to de-age
I have
her.
the vanity and I don't even like to do that much contour. Like, what the heck?
Yeah,
They're
that
trying to
was
make her
weird.
look younger than she actually is. And they feel that's the way to do it.
That is
Mm-mm.
that is
So
how
You
you
have to
they
make
have
up.
better casting and cast a
More.
younger girl.
Yeah.
Like, are they trying to age her up that way whenever they get into this next like, I don't want to do like spoilers or anything, but like this next area where she's going to be having more of like a relationship. Do you think they're trying to age her up because of that?
I think they're aging her down now actually to maybe have lighter makeup when she gets to that scene, to that story.
I'm really good at
Possibly.
more
More
I
actual
know
age.
exactly what they're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
But the whole season, I was like, why is she wearing so much makeup? Like, why?
It's pretty noticeable when you're watching it 4K in a home theater and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
wow, it's super progressive. They talk very modern in this.
They do
Mhm.
the dialogue.
Yeah.
Oh my
and
god.
it's not like that in the books. Yeah, you could see it caked on. I'm like, when did they have time for that? At all?
Exactly. They sleep in the woods. Come on.
She's like,
Like,
I
and
bring
where
him
is
here
she
with me, girl.
storing
I
it?
need time.
Like, does she have a little bag on Roach just for her makeup? Because
She
she's
has a
not
Hermione
carrying it.
bag where she gets all over. her makeup.
Endless bag. Speaking of wigs, Triss's wig.
Oof.
That
Oof.
was a mess.
Looked like a mop on her
Yes.
head.
They did her so dirty.
In the
They did
first-
Triss so dirty in this series.
Every season.
They just can't get her right.
They
Nope.
can't. They're like, oh, well, maybe if we make her hair a little bit longer, it'll be better. She's like, no, you did her dirty from the very
It's
beginning.
still not right. At least it's red, I guess. But other than that,
But it just doesn't match her eyebrows at all, and it just
No.
stands out. I'm like, oh god.
Maybe if they just cast properly to begin with.
Maybe.
Get a real ginger.
Yeah. Why wasn't Chrissy thought of for this role, damn it? That I would have watched.
Yeah, he's a real ginger.
Yeah.
No, kidding.
I know, she's actually blonde. When she told me that, I was like, what? I feel lied to.
Where are the real gingers?
Yes, we're all gingers now. And you notice that's their big resolution for like all the ginger side that's obviously got in their head. Because if you look at Triss in season 1, her hair isn't like that at all.
No,
It's dark.
It's
Yep.
dark.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we should put a red wig on her. That'll fix it. That was great for Ariel too with Little Mermaid. That like just totally natural.
oh my god.
Yeah, you see a lot of natural dark skinned gingers. They're everywhere.
Everywhere. It's possible, I'm sure, but you never know.
But they won't cast them either.
Right.
No, it's a progressive gobbledygook mess, a horrible adaptation. It's written poorly. Like you can tell Henry is completely checked out in this one. I gotta give it up to him, man, for being a professional. I would have walked out on day 1 on this because I'm sure he was watching the dailies and just going, fuck, you know.
Well, he was supposedly, being belligerent on set because he's probably trying to, keep the story close to the book.
He's like, why am I on this side quest to protect a fake Syrian sitting down at a freaking bed for 2 episodes, going back and forth and chopping wood? Like, what the fuck? I mean,
yeah, they define belligerence as honesty
and
concern about the source material.
They probably
How
did.
dare you?
Well, what happened was Hollywood had a really good time between 2016 and 19. They were rolling in money. Lots of investors were coming in because streaming was going to be booming, and it created this false sense of reality because there was so much money. They needed more writers. And they were like, well, we're going to hire more women, and these women, like Lauren Hisrich, thought they were hired on their actual merit, except that they were cats. I don't think anybody would have had in a real world Lauren Hisrich on their top 10 to run a Witcher show.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to pick on her because she's had plenty of opportunity and she's completely failed to the point where your star left the damn show.
Right.
And you need to be a fantasy fan. You don't have to have read the Witcher books, but you need to have a working knowledge of fantasy, which means read a Conan book, read some Witcher books, read some Elric. There's a lot of stuff you can go out there and get and immerse yourself in. I doubt this chick did any of that.
She also had Henry Cavill right there. He was a resource. Instead
She's
of
a freaking Witcher wiki.
fighting him on everything, work with him, use him. But no, she resented him. She resented his input, and this is where we are.
Yeah.
This is what they deserve. This is what they get for disregarding the fans and the people who are actually trying to work there, that were trying to make good content. Like this is what they get.
And it seemed they always have some excuse, right? It's always like, well, these people are sexist or they're racist or, whatever it is or ism it is of the week that they're talking about. When you have actual women watching it, like really it's simple. All people want is they want it to be, if you're going to deviate from the source material, fine. Look, Lord of the Rings, everybody loved those movies. They're amazing. There wasn't any Tom Bombadil. There wasn't any Glorfindel. There are little things like, of course it deviates. It has to. I understand that. That. But if you stay true to the feeling of it, the spirit of it, and you write good episodes and you have well-rounded characters, people are going to enjoy it. And for some reason, they just don't understand that. Like, I don't get why it's so hard for them to just give us a good product that's based on the property that they're making. I don't get it.
It's not about the product. It's about their message that they want to use the product as a platform to convey. When you start from that position, from that starting point, where you don't really care about the source material, it's just a tool for you to use because you don't like the fans of that source material either. This is what you end up with, terrible product, because they're not creative. All they're about is beating you on the head with the lesson they want you to learn. And that is all there is.
I totally agree, Jayne. And it's absolutely clear watching all 3 seasons now that Lauren Hissrich, her interest is with Yennefer. That is her character. She is the main character of this show. That's where most of the through lines go. All of them do. It's not even most, it's all of them. The through lines go through Yennefer. Let's not forget, even season 1, which a lot of people liked, ended with her.
But how do you like a character so much and want to make it your focus and still do her bad?
Not being as talented as you think you are.
Exactly.
That's pretty much the bottom line. And it's every situation is set up. Every scenario is twisted and manipulated, even when they adapt something somewhat properly to try to fit in a guy being stupid, emasculated, incompetent, evil, duplicitous. There's just not a lot of good dudes. And like, as Jayne said, the book has enough, I hate to use this term because I think it's stupid. It has enough powerful women in it. It has enough normal women, basically. In it,
Yes.
and they just tried to amp it up, and it wasn't enough for them. It wasn't enough. And it just makes for a bunch of unlikable people doing a lot of boring and inane shit. And that's what this is. I mean, this show is fucking dead. I don't think anybody's gonna like sit through and wait for the second half, which is in a month. And again, they ended their fucking half season point on a ball with people dancing.
I love too how she was like, this is the naming what the dance was. And she's like, you have to do it. It's, mandatory. But then there were a bunch of people not dancing on the side. So was it mandatory for everyone? Was it mandatory for some to say it wasn't dancing? It didn't even make any sense. I was so annoyed.
True. Yeah. Like Stregobor didn't have to dance.
No,
He just
there were a bunch of people not
stared.
dancing.
leering.
And can I say this too? I would love for them to just stop with the diversity. Like, there is not a Black character in the show that they've added or race swapped that makes any sense, that adds anything to the story. They're terrible characters. They've made them worse than they actually are. And I am sick of it. I'm over it. This is insulting at this point. They just need to stop.
I can say the same for like gender swapping. It's insulting. Don't give me a fucking be like, oh no, we need a woman in here, so we'll just make this character that was a man a woman. It's like, what the fuck does that do? That's
like,
not
why.
Aging up a character to make a gay romance is not going to talk anybody out of thinking Hollywood's full of groomers. Yeah, that's my take.
But it goes completely over their head. Like, they don't even see it.
They don't even see it. No. Their worldview is it's so bizarre and so disconnected from audiences. Eric talks about this a lot. Hollywood is really good at missing like the easiest shot, the easiest layup. Have The Witcher. The Witcher is mostly popular, correct me if I'm wrong, because of the game, not the books.
Yes.
The books.
That was my first introduction to it, was the game.
And what's the game? Running around story mode. I mean, obviously I'm an expert because I've gotten like 3% through it, but running around fucking killing shit. That's what we want to see. That's what certain, Witcher isn't supposed to be CW fantasy. Okay. It's not. It's supposed to be like,
can I add, they actually left out, they purposely omitted a really badass woman from this season who Geralt hooks up with, is Shawnee.
You know why?
They
probably did that.
They didn't want to make things difficult with him and Yen.
Yep. They were too focused on that romance.
Ugh.
Yeah, because this writer focused
Shawnee's
on
awesome
shipping and all the online conversations about Yennefer and Geralt, and those people are pissed too because they like Henry Cavill. So she painted herself in a corner. I know it's on the top 10, but again, I've covered enough stuff. We've all covered enough stuff to know when things are really popular, genuinely popular. We see a real conversation. Jayne and I went through this with freaking Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. There's plenty of people having real conversations online about House of the Dragon, whether you liked it or not. A lot of people liked it, theorizing what's going to happen next. The entire Rings of Power conversation was, this thing sucks. Just really sucks.
They were handed gold and they screwed it up.
Yes.
How
hubris and incompetence is usually what I fall on. And hubris and incompetence is what kind of opens the door for agenda. Because when you
Yeah.
don't have talent to fall on, you use your politics to keep your job. Listen, Hollywood is filled with manipulative people, opportunistic, manipulative people who will use. I mean, look what the Me Too movement was. I mean, look what that entire movement was. It was a power grab. That's all it was. It wasn't about helping women who were genuinely abused at all. It was full of a bunch of just sleazy opportunists who ended up being pretty bad in some cases and had to be Me Too'd out of the Me Too movement. So that's what Hollywood's filled with. So they will use anything at their disposal, including I'm a feminist. You don't hire enough women. It's like, you know what? Write better. Right. But there's too many writers. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. Thank God for the strike. It's going to purge all this garbage out. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Or it gives us a break from this shit. Because like what's funny is we're being assaulted with entertainment right now. That's what it kind of feels like. So the writers are on strike right now. And I have watched Strange New Worlds, Secret Invasion, Indiana Jones, and now Witcher 3. And all of them are a good argument for the writers to never come back.
You guys, you're like, this is not helping me be on your side at all.
Nope.
Yeah, Indiana Jones bummed me out. Holy crap. I know that's not that stream, but wow. That was
a sad,
Depressing.
broken, sad movie about a broken, sad old man. But you can always just have him sitting around a bed. And
If you want to watch something that Harrison Ford is good in, just watch Shrinking on Apple TV. That's like the one good show that he's on right now.
1923 was good, but he's bedridden for a lot of that one too.
Is that the Yellowstone spinoff?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't
Yeah,
watched
I've watched all the spin-offs, but I haven't watched Yellowstone yet.
It's really good.
Geralt cries about his mama in this.
yeah, that was a weird moment too. He like starts going into his childhood and how his mom left, and like, was that necessary for character building in some way? Like, did we need to do that? I just felt very out of place and very odd.
They just needed to mention her just once in the season, and so they did it that way. Which I think, I'm trying to remember if he actually, I can't remember if he runs into her again later on in the books or if they just did that dirty. I can't remember if they did or not with Vicenna.
I feel like they just needed to insert another woman's story.
They could have done Shawnee.
Not with the women
Seriously.
tearing it up.
That's
Okay, and who
much
else
hetero.
didn't like Kira Metz's casting?
Oh,
the name-
I didn't.
Kira Metz. She's like if you play the game, like she's a freaking like bombshell in the game. Bombshell sorceress.
Mhm.
And we didn't get that with her here.
I don't understand why they don't like casting attractive women anymore. It seems like they want to cast people who are less attractive in these roles where they're supposed to be
She was one of the
attractive.
body positive mages,
I
right?
don't like it.
No, like,
Well, even
I'm
when they
positive
cast-
your body sucks.
Even when they do cast one who's attractive in real life, when you see them on screen versus
Oh,
how
they
you see
look
them in an
horrible.
awards show or something, it's completely different. They are
Yeah.
uglifying women, including in a situation in a story where their beauty actually has a point. Like it serves a purpose. It's not superficial. There's meaning
Exactly.
behind it. It's how they do their job.
Yes.
Mhm.
They're hot
Because like
folk.
these are the women
They're hot
who
folk.
are stationed with royalty and they're basically trained to be advisors for these kings and dukes and all these different kingdoms. Like they're supposed to be attractive and commandeering in a freaking throne room. Like that's part of their job.
They want them to influence the men.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Which is
And
a
that plays
strength-
a huge part later on in the story about how these women have this control over these kingdoms' leaders.
which is a strength of women. Like if you want to talk about like realistic, look, I know this is a fantasy world and people have magic and that's a different thing. But if you want to talk about real strengths of women, physically men are always going to be stronger. But what's a strength that women have that men don't? It's typically when it comes to beauty. Like it's been scientifically proven that beautiful people in general, but you know, women, of course, have an easier life and get things easier than someone who's less attractive. So it's an actual thing.
yes,
And like that's a real strength that
what Hollywood used to be built on.
yes.
Absolutely.
That's right, chat. titties. That's right.
No, we got
No, we
The
didn't even
power
get any.
of boobs.
season.
Yeah.
We had a bathhouse scene with no boobs.
No
I
boobs.
know.
No boobs in 5
Upsetting.
episodes. No boobs. What did they have in the first season? Boobs.
Lots of boobs.
Lots
They-
of boobs.
They tried to use the Game of Thrones formula, which I mean, quite frankly, works. You know, if you
Yeah.
have good storytelling, too. But yeah,
We're in the post She-Hulk era, so can't have that anymore.
No boobs. Free.
Oh, can we be in a post She-Hulk era?
Can we go to pre-She-Hulk era?
Can we be away from that like forever? We're
Not
getting
only-
there. I think we're getting there, but go on.
Not only did we not have boobs, we didn't have front shirtless Geralt.
Yeah, we only saw his back. We didn't see.
We only
any
saw his
chest at all.
back while he's in the
They made a-
bathtub with Yen.
And
Yep.
they made a big deal about him being in the bathtub again. They
They made tweets
tweeted-
about it.
Yeah.
We're like, Geralt's in the bathtub, confirmed. Just like,
We got 30 seconds.
Barely.
if that.
It was very disappointing. The whole reason not the whole reason, but part of the reason you have cast Henry Cavill casted is because look
So
at him.
beautiful.
My God.
This is Geralt in the bathtub. Come on.
I like the rubber duck.
Oh, I remember that. That's the statue, right?
Yes.
Yes, I saw they were
Like,
showing that at con.
I am a big Witcher fan. Like this whole entire wall is all Witcher.
Hell
I've
yeah.
got the big sideshow Yennefer statue over here. Like, I've spent a lot of money on The Witcher. And I have zero interest in purchasing any of the stuff based off the show.
Right.
None.
There is any. I don't think there will be now. I think there was a Hot Toys coming out. Not sure. But this thing is like going down so fast. And like Henry leaving, they should have just canceled it. They probably will. Or they're gonna. I think if they finish it, they'll do what they did with Doctor Who, and they'll go, well, it's a season 4 and 5, but they'll just do a season 4 and split it in half. So it'll be a 5-episode season 4 and maybe a 5-episode season 5 that nobody will watch with discount Hemsworth. But no shade on him, but like,
It's
dude,
not his fault, but I don't know why you would try to cast someone other than Henry. Like once he's gone, it's done.
The show's over.
Yeah, you screwed up.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have
fucked
even
up.
wanted the role. Like, how do you even step into his shoes?
I was gonna say Hemsworth might not even do it after this season. Who knows?
It's got to be intimidating. He's
Yeah.
gonna, like he knows he's being set up for failure right now, and that's gotta be one, exhausting and extremely intimidating for him to even want to go into this role, because he knows the moment he comes on that screen, he's going to be compared to Henry Cavill.
Yep. Absolutely. Who is literally perfect for the role.
Perfect.
Yes.
It's frustrating.
I'm gonna read some super chats, and then I want to talk about Francesca. Not Francesca. Sorry. Is it? Yeah, Francesca.
The elf?
Yeah, because I hate her.
Oh.
I really hate her. I was hoping
I
that he
freaking
was
hate
going
her.
to kill her instead of Robbie Amell, but no.
Oh, Emperor Emir. Yeah, the thing also, there's just it seems like they can't wait to get away from Geralt in scenes. There's so many characters in it, including Francesca, which I could never see again and be fine. Like, who cares? And yeah, they introduce so many characters and so many plot lines to culminate in a ballroom scene. I was like,
I will say, I'm really mad that they spoiled who Emir was at the end of season. What was it? Season 2?
2. Yeah.
I was so mad. Like, I understand that it's going to be more difficult to kind of hide who he is in a TV show compared to like in a book, because you don't know who Emir is until like the last couple chapters of Lady of the Lake, which is like book 5.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you
It's
could have kept it going that long, but you could have kept it going longer. I think he
Yes.
would have been a much stronger force not being shown, like just having him be this mystery emperor that everybody refers to. I think
He's
that's
the white
really cool.
flame.
White
Ooh,
flame.
it's like Baba Yaga.
Josh Kelsey has donated $20. Thank you, Josh. We appreciate it. Some YouTuber named Heels versus Babyface, Heels versus Babyface, says there is a suspicious amount of women in this stream. I get what you're saying.
Sounds like a
man.
boring channel.
Yeah. Heels.
I keyed.
What is this?
What's
The
up,
View?
Az? You can come on if you want, Az. I know you totally watch the shit out of this show. Diego Salazar for 1,000 Argentinian pesos. Cheers. Showrun the adaptation of a popular franchise. That's one. Number two, get some lonely female writers in their late 20s, early 30s to write some basic fanfic level bullshit into it. Taking away what made the source material great. 3, backlash. 4, play victim. Yes, he's still Geralt in season 3. And he's not. Well, he's not. He does nothing. Even the third monster, which Ciri gets to kill, like he cuts off its tail,
Yeah.
you know, and kind of hangs back. We talked about that before the show. What was the name of the monster again? Sorry.
The Ashna.
The
Yeah.
Ashna, very progressive monster. There was 2 people of color on the ship that it could have eaten, and that it decided brushed aside the people of color.
Well, it was being
white folk.
it was being
So
it was being
hard.
nice. They knew they had a ball to get to entertain.
Yes.
They didn't want to mess that scene up.
We need entertainment.
We need our
Tail
minstrels.
to kind of slap them aside. It doesn't eat them or do anything like that, you know.
Which I was hoping that they would. I hated those guys.
I know,
Yeah.
they were so annoying.
Who comes
So
on
annoying.
singing?
That song that
Like,
they kept on
what?
playing over and over, the same couple of lines over and
Also,
over.
How
and
on
over
the
in
nose
last
is
episode.
that? All is not as it seems. And
Right.
you're like, okay,
Over
thank
and
you
over
for
again.
that.
We get it.
Oh
We get it.
God. I was like,
I was so,
I wonder
like,
if things are not as they seem.
Ah!
Like
I
they're
was getting
treating
so
the
frustrated.
watchers like we're retarded and then making things like unnecessarily complicated when they don't need to be, and then trying to be like, here you go, dum dum, this is what we're trying to show you. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's exhausting.
Yeah.
We got it the first 30 times you sang that over and over again.
Was it the only song they played the whole night?
yes,
It
That's the
feels
only
like
thing they
it.
do.
that is the only song that they played in that last episode.
Hey,
This band sucks.
the good news for me is there's no song for Dan Vass to cover in season 3.
Or Dan Vask, do the cover.
It's just
I mean,
two
he could play
lines.
the gay
Yeah,
song.
go for it. Yeah.
He could learn the
I
play,
think he
the gay,
totally
the
should.
couple of lines from the gay song that Radical sings
Yeah.
to swoon,
Yes.
to seduce Dandelion.
Yeah. So, before we get to the next super chat, I do want to talk about how it's really important that everybody keeps an eye on Ciri, except when they just let her go and hang out. And I know one of those parts is in the books, but they like, what the hell are you doing? We got to keep an eye on Ciri, so I'm gonna split up.
Oh, the wyvern
That part,
thing.
Jennifer was concerned, like she was reluctant to let her go, and here she's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
get out of here."
Yeah.
Go
Here.
for a little token. Call me when you need me.
That's the wyvern scene, right? And
Yes, I
were
did
they-
like that they had her eating the pastries because
Yeah,
she just kept on buying those and buying those and buying those and eating those in the books.
that was cute. But see, again,
and
that's
the
an
line-
example of something that's there that they could that's from the books and was actually cute.
Yes.
Those
And
little
no-
things that mean a lot.
Mhm.
but then they emasculated that kid in the wyvern scene. It's just like, God damn it.
That was actually part of it too.
Yeah, but
That was part of it.
of course they're going to adapt that part, but they emasculate somebody every time, so it's like, really, they don't want to miss that. Like, forget Geralt, but like, we got an emasculation scene, let's do it.
Oh, don't worry, they did.
Oh, they did a lot.
But
Like,
the
we're
thing
gonna
is,
forget Geralt.
even with that kid, we do have a moment where he's very sort of strong and brave, and I can do it. I can take care of her. He does have his moments of strength too that they completely strip.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So,
Of course.
still, he doesn't get anything.
I
No,
also love the scene where they go to the festival and he's like, you need to cover your hair and your face. Everyone's going to be in masks anyway. And then she leaves her hair down and she goes with the mask that she's holding that she loses 5 seconds
I know.
later.
Right?
She's just off and like doing whatever, completely uncovered, and you're like, okay, that made sense. Ugh.
I don't think that part was even in the books.
So
Yeah.
who here saw Blood Origin?
I did.
No, I didn't watch it.
I won't
Unfortunately.
succumb. I won't do it. That's
I'll
bad,
do it.
bad
It
fan fiction.
totally changes what the Wild Hunt. It just makes it terrible now. You're just like, oh, look, it's the skinny gay guy coming out of the.
They
cloud.
did the Wild Hunt so dirty in this too, with like the one scene that they were in.
I thought
They
we
can
were
be
gonna get
taken
more
down
of
with
that.
2
It
airs.
was-
That's it.
So this is written as I believe as bad as Blood Origin. I think Blood Origin was just a precursor to like what we were getting for Wisher season 3, and that's why Henry Cavill left. But that Wild Hunt scene, the one scene, was awful. Like so we talked a little bit before the show. It's obvious that the budget's been halved or something like that, but it looked legit awful. And the worst part was, I mean, they looked bad, but Ciri on her fake horse.
He looks so similar to Galadriel.
You could see that she's just okay. They're like, jump up and down in a chair. So she's all okay.
So awkward.
So awkward. I can't, because Netflix would hit us, but like, I'll put it on Twitter. It looks so awful. I was laughing a lot at this, so that's good. It was unintentional laughter, but I was chuckling quite a bit when I was watching this. I was like, good God.
Is it that hard to put them on a real horse? Or do they not do that anymore?
That's a good question.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like it would cost less to rent a horse for a few days than to completely build that in CG.
Yeah. And riding a horse is
You'd
not
think
that hard.
so. You'd
No.
think
Is it
so.
PETA?
Oh, maybe. They're like,
That's the only thing I can think of. But it's not like the horse was hurt or anything like that in that scene.
No, and
Like,
people still ride horses like
And this is one of
regularly.
the most important scenes in this story. So how do you decide that you're not going to actually shift a bunch of your budget to making it look good and
And
believable?
isn't Yen supposed to be in that scene?
Yes!
Yen is in that
What?
scene. In the book, Yen is supposed to be in that scene.
There's a great scene here.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
So
like,
they-
no.
Got rid of good scenes for the women that they supposedly want to uplift, and then added in bad scenes of them. Okay.
Well, what's
That's
funny
good.
is they were on horses in the first episode.
Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's not like they didn't do it before.
They had the horses. They had the horses already. Oh
Oh.
jeez.
Yeah, that's why it's so
Roach
jarring
magically
when you see it
disappeared
this way.
too.
Didn't Roach die?
He had a horse. Every horse that he has is named Roach.
Oh, okay. So but they just didn't make a mention of it at all.
Yeah. I mean, Roach was in like one, I think they showed a horse in one scene, and then whenever they got on the ferry, like the horse was magically gone.
Maybe it was like Shadowfax. He comes when he's called.
Yeah. Or it was like the Rings of Power boats. There's tons of room at the bottom.
Right?
They're all arcs.
Oh, again, if you see, I'm just looking at it now. If you see Blood Origin, it's just so bad. It just kills the Wild Hunt. It destroys it. Oh God.
I couldn't even bring myself to do it. I was
Don't
like, "There's
watch
no
it.
Geralt. No, thank you."
Yeah.
Sickening.
And they threw in Yaskier just to just to be in there, wasn't it? Like I haven't watched the show. I
Yeah, he's in,
have
like, the
no
prologue.
interest in watching it.
He's in the prologue. But it sets up the Wild Hunt, and it's really freaking awful. It is terrible.
All you have to do is, like you said, you follow the games. That's really all you have to do. Even if you don't want to follow the books super closely, you could still make the fans happy if you followed the games.
Which
That's
they
it.
did. Which they didn't. Which they
Yeah.
probably should have done. to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Well, they
And
should have, because this book is particularly
games.
difficult to adapt. I mean, it is
Yep.
much more political intrigue. It's a little bit more negotiation and investigation. It's not something that's very exciting. There aren't a lot of fights, I mean, there are some, but it's not the type of story at this point in the story that is adaptable to a fantasy action Henry Cavill TV show.
And does it make sense? I have to ask, since you guys have read the books, does it make sense for them to have adapted this in the order that they were going in with season 1 and 2, or is it like a weird jump?
No, I think this is about right.
Okay.
It's-
Okay.
But after like butchering the last book, like
Yeah.
utterly destroying a very good book, that Yennefer is brilliant in, and they made her like worse. So like what you guys have mentioned before, it's like they have like a good Yennefer book that they just fucked up. It's like, oh my god. It's incompetence. It's massive incompetence.
I
Rod,
will say this season was not as bad as I expected it to be. I didn't like love it, but I went in with my expectations at like a 2, and it did better than I thought it would at being closer to source material than the previous other seasons.
but this was a conscious decision. This is the book they clearly like the most because it played to Lauren Hisser's girl power and lack of strengths, right? And this is a book I would have half adapted for a series. Like I would have like this, if you want to skip something, like skip this one. Like this is or use half of this one. I mean, again, your big climax at the season is a ballroom scene. A ballroom scene.
Yeah.
That made me so mad. Seriously, I got to that last episode and I was like, what is this?
They're leading to a good part of the book.
It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
But it is leading to a good fight.
You only have to wait a month, but I don't. Okay. Henry Cavill's leaving. Season 2 sucked balls, and it's one of the better books. You're adapting one of the weaker books, word for word, because it fits in with your girl power, and you split the season in half, and end it with Dijkstra holding a knife to Geralt's throat. That's where it ends, right before he notices, I'm guessing, the coup, right? So I would have shown at least the beginning of the coup instead of you just hearing about it. It felt like a budgetary thing to me.
This was their cliffhanger to get you to watch on, what is it, July 27th? I think is when the next part comes out.
Yeah.
That was their cliffhanger.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm not happy about it.
So splitting your seasons in half is is retarded. Like either do it weekly or release it all at once. Like I guess I'll agree with the binge model on this one. I just want them to release it all once so I don't have to ever watch it again. But like, you all heard my argument on like it's Netflix is the reason they do this is so they can skew minutes watched. It's going to be really important now when they're selling advertising and they have the Nielsen ratings, and it puts them in the top 10 all the time because all their episodes are out and all those minutes from all those episodes count. It's cheating. But if you release your stuff weekly, more people will watch it and talk about it. Great example is Picard season 3. A lot of people were talking about that. If they would have dropped that all at once, it would have never have gotten the word of mouth that it gotten. So
I think the problem here is that every episode didn't really end on anything worth talking about.
Exactly.
Like had they dropped these episodes weekly, it would have not been terrible at all.
It would have been like, hey, Yasker was like super gay this scene, and they did a whole scene where he's supposed to be babysitting Siri, and then he goes out and has the gay sex with the aged up character from the books.
Viewership would have plummeted.
Would have felt it's gonna plummet now. I don't think there's any chance of this being a hit. I'm not worried about it at all.
I can't even imagine what the next season's going to be like, though. For real, like, do they really anticipate that anyone's actually going to watch it?
And next season is is one of the better books because it's like Siri being like bloodthirsty. Like she's a badass in the next book. Like it really shows her kind of, you really see why she's kind of broken, like later on, and kind of she's been through a lot.
But they're already trying to make her an activist, so I don't see them actually writing her well.
Things with the elves, oh my gosh, it pissed me off.
Justice.
And why are they having her have? Why are they having her have the visions or the dreams about the elves when her nightmares are just about the Birds of Prey helmet? That's it. She has nightmares about Kahir, or Kair is his name. Has nothing to do with the elves. Nothing.
No, they're mixing all her nightmares up now. And yeah, well, she's a girl's key to everything. That's what she is. I mean, that's what and like maybe when this story came out, that was kind of new. It's really not new. It's really, really old and boring and stale. So they're going to have to do something different, which they're not capable of because they're not talented. And even like the writers from season 1, they've lost half of them, and they obviously kept the really the shittier ones. I think one of them, I can't remember his name, is off to go do X-Men the animated series, and he's the one who threw shade. He's the one who said, yeah, they didn't care about the books at all. They would openly mock them. And it's obvious that they have disdain for him. Obvious.
Why do the property? I don't understand. Why do it if you don't like it?
Oh,
Exactly.
it's cred. It's about getting cred. It's about putting it on your resume, getting that next gig. So the culture in Hollywood, that's what causes a lot of this is like, this is just a job to get me the next job. And a professional would do their homework, do their research. Most people in Hollywood try to do as little work as possible and will bullshit themselves and everybody else to cut corners. J.J. Abrams is the king of that. That last episode, we just talked about it. It is a 10-minute episode told from multiple perspectives to pad it out to an hour. And it's meant to trick you into thinking something's happening here, but you see repeated scenes from two different camera angles, and they spend time saying the same shit they just said 5 minutes ago, like saying the same thing. You don't need to do that. So it was such a bizarre, I won't call it a creative decision. I think it was a way to pad.
Yes, it was 100% a time fill.
The other reason too, I think, is because they saw this as a feminist narrative. And for them, Geralt was just there, and they really needed to get past him and get him out of the way so that they could focus on their main character and the story that they want to twist this story into. And I think that's why they're jumping on her being so, she's an activist, she's the key to everything, she's going to be powerful and she's going to save the world. And it's like, no, at this moment when Geralt and Yennefer lose her, what you're supposed to feel is panic. Like, what is she about to turn into? But they can't allow that type of vulnerability and that type of threat that she could actually be a villain if she turns the wrong corner. They can't allow it because it doesn't fit their narrative.
The message, as Drinker says.
Makes me curious as to how they're going to portray one of the end scenes of the next part.
Oh, well. I think we can assume they'll take the feminist angle.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to assume that. Roger Kasdan for $20, and thank you, says, bloody hell, another male main character subsumed because I'm dumb. Sorry, by smarter, more powerful women in his own damned series, kind of like this stream, right, Gary? Oh shit.
No.
Oh no. Damn.
Oh no, that's Gary right now. Oh no.
BK Blair, $197 for $20. Who needs strong female characters when you have these awesome array of badass women? Bravo, ladies. Bravo. Way to simp. That's good simping right there. Red Belt, $1,000 for $20. Speaking of diversity and DEI, Robert Barnes needs to be on something this week to explain how the affirmative action SCOTUS case could nuke DEI. Yeah, maybe we'll have him. I don't know. Maybe we can get him on for a segment or something for FNT. We'll send him a message. Yeah, because he's a lawyer and he's smart. And I wouldn't, if he can explain to me how it would blow that up, that would be great. But the thing is with DEI, at least in California, okay, is it is discriminatory. And you know how they got around that? They dropped some of the discriminatory laws. They got rid of them in California. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. So they put it up for a vote and it got knocked down by the voters, but then they did some backdoor shit like they always do.
Yeah. I don't see it changing anything simply because, as we've said before, they're still terrible writers and their agenda is still at the forefront.
Yep.
So it's like no matter who they hire and no matter what they look like, they're going to share the same point of view. They're not going to hire anyone who's talented who doesn't agree with them. there will never be diversity of opinion and thought in their writer's room.
It has never been about marginalized or underrepresented people, and that's their language. It is what Jayne just said. It is about, well, you know, if you look a certain way, even better, but you have to still agree with us
You have to.
on everything. So there's that.
That or we're gonna call you names and push you out.
Yeah.
You can't get a job anymore.
Yeah, Gina
you know,
Carano is everything they said they loved.
Yep.
Everything.
A strong woman. Yes. Oh my God. Exactly. But it's true. It seems like whether you're black or you're a woman or whatever it is, if you don't agree with what they agree with or what, and the problem is that the goalpost keeps moving too. So you can be a really progressive person and it doesn't matter because at some point that idea is going to change and it's going to get pushed a little bit further. And if you're not in line with that, then you're not in their club. And, you know, that's not okay. And it's getting to a point where it's a little bit ridiculous.
We've seen that with J.K. Rowling. You know, like her red line is womanhood, and she's just been shredded by them, but she stood up to it because she has the money to do so.
Oh, she's
she's been called a Nazi now. Rowling.
Her whole books are based on how Voldemort is essentially Hitler. What?
No, it's so crazy. But her roasting people on Twitter has been one of the most glorious things.
Oh, I'm loving it.
I actually followed her, and I don't follow celebrities, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to.
I the same way. I rarely, I think 3 celebrities maybe I follow, and she is one of them. Elon's the other. I just don't want to get caught up in adding them, right? Because whatever I have to say about their work and stuff, I'm not going to get in some fucking Twitter argument with Brie Larson or something like that. I just don't want to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Especially it might upset Ryan. You know, we don't want to upset Ryan.
Oh, Rinnell.
Care about his feelings.
We don't want to hurt his feelings. That's his girl, you know. Cisco Kid has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Thank you, Cisco Kid. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. It's a good song. It's old. None of you probably heard it. How am I supposed to say this name?
I think it's Eosite.
Okay, you said it. For $20. Thank you. There is no Witcher without Henry. Potato Nation forever. I agree. Yeah. I'll play The Witcher 3. I'm going to continue playing that game because it is genuinely fun.
It's so good.
And boobs.
And there's boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the bathhouse to get to. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
I love Gary's lurking and once the boobs show. Hi, I gotta start playing this game again.
But actually, that is a lot of
boobs in that game.
It's a good palate cleanser after this. I think I'm going to go back to it too because I'm not very far into it. So I definitely should
do it.
After
that
this.
was my introduction. Was the game, and then this happened.
The storytelling and the lore in the game is brilliant. It's so absolutely brilliant. Everything I like about I don't like many games. I know this might come as a surprise to some people. I like story-driven games, and that's why I like Diablo.
But you're like a pro Gollum player.
Yeah.
I am. and I played it, and then they canceled the game.
That's the power of Gary.
Yeah. City Heroes was one of my favorite games, running around being a superhero that I built myself. And that game was rad.
Honestly, after watching this, I am terrified of what Netflix is going to do to BioShock. I'm so scared because that's still supposed to be coming out. Those are some of my favorite games. Oh my God.
BioShock, and then they're doing the Uglies series as well. Did you ever read Uglies by Scott Westerfeld?
But I'm aware. Wait. Pretties, Uglies,
Uglies,
specials.
Pretties, specials,
I read
and
those
extras.
in high school.
Yep.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that. They're making that. It's going to be so bad.
Yes. And the whole premise of that is that the whole premise of Uglies is that they basically push you into doing this surgery to make you pretty when you're
16.
And the government hides this chip in you that makes you dumb, so you're easier to control.
Yep. And then they go
premise of this book series
and essentially party. And when they move on to after they're 16 and they move into
they force you to do this when you're 16?
Yeah, they make everybody beautiful, and the way that they say it basically or justify it is that they're getting rid of the advantages that more attractive people got by leveling the playing field. So just everybody becomes attractive. But then you find out that there's this mind, like essentially kind of like mind control, but yeah, it just makes people dumb. And then they go off and party a bunch.
I think there's a modern allegory you can play with there. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That's
Billy,
why I'm worried about it, because they could make that really good and make it really hit home with a lot of us right now, because Uglies was one of my favorite book series growing up. So if they do that one right, it could really pop off. But I'm so worried about
not going to happen.
No,
Yeah,
it
Netflix.
sucks. For a long time, I wanted them to adapt Abrat by Clive Barker, and the more that I'm seeing what all of these platforms are doing to these books and shows and games and stuff that I love, I don't want it anymore. I wanted to see it.
We had this really cool time back in, I'd say 2013, 12, 13, 14, maybe even stretched to 15 of some really good television. That's when this era was just starting off, this prestige television. They were kind of doing some like really fun things doing it. And they ended up getting like, I don't know if you ever heard of a show called Counterpart with J.K. Simmons. Like the concept of it was so fucking cool. And it could have gone to so many places, but it got cut off. Ash versus Evil Dead came out. One of the greatest shows ever fucking made.
Really loved that show.
Season 1 was really fun. You know, Umbrella Academy season 1 was really fun. Yeah. And then it just went to shit so fast.
Yep, I agree.
Billy Huang for $10 says, Gary and his beard have enough testosterone to balance out this largely female panel. It's mostly, not just large. I would say mostly. What do you mean large?
Yeah, hey, what are you trying to say?
Stop it. Thank you. Thank you. Gamers Cafe for $5 Australian. So apparently Zia and X-Ray are shopping at the same locations. LOL.
Like Flower Top. Apparently it's the same place.
Generic Flower Top.
That.
That's funny.
We need some of these women to identify as male. There's too many women here. As Ash said, there's a suspicious amount of women.
I always get accused of being a straight white male on Twitter.
You do?
Do you?
Yeah.
That's funny. Wow. I love that. And you're like, surprise, bitch.
I'm the opposite.
Just remember, Jayne's Conan character is pretty reflective of real life.
Kind of
yes. And Jayne is the black female face of white supremacy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
There you go. Got that going for her. John Yarber for $5. X-Ray Girls gaming intro. I reset my case.
Rest
my case. Why did I say reset?
I don't know.
What's your gaming stream intro?
I'm dancing in the kitchen while I was cooking. Mark filmed the video while I didn't know. So he just made it.
Simping right there.
Yeah,
that's cute.
I try to skip past that part. Sorry, but
it's all good. It's all good. It's fine.
Pizza is great for $9.99. I had some wonderful. I had a cheat day last night. Pineapple pizza.
Oh my god.
Pineapple
the
pizza.
question is, where'd you get it from?
No.
Gary.
Oh, so good.
I always forget.
So good.
No, thank you.
Witcher. I watched 5 hours of the fucking Witcher. I needed to feel again.
Bad or not, he had to feel something.
I had to feel something. It was bad or start cutting myself. I'm not sure.
Oh no.
I'd watch the Yennefer actress read the phone book. So I watched it and we'll watch the rest of the episodes when part 2 is released. Sometimes we have reasons to watch shows that we admit are not good.
I get it.
She's a good looking girl. She's not bad as Yennefer. She's just not Yennefer.
Right.
She's not a bad actress. And that's one thing that I said in the very beginning is that I am not like, I don't hate the show because of the actors behind it. They're all talented in their own way. I mean, I've seen Freya, I'm trying to think, what was it? The Fourth Day with Jude Law on HBO. She was in that. And that was my first introduction to her before The Witcher. I think. I can't remember when that came out. But like individually, the actors are fantastic. They were just given a pile of crap to go off of
Yeah.
and try to make good.
Yeah, you can't act your way out of terrible writing. There's just it
No,
just
you
doesn't work.
cannot.
I mean, like, yeah, they're the two old white guys, but like you see Lars Mikkelsen and Graham McTavish even take on their stuff, and they're still fucking good. They're still like,
Yeah.
you know, Stregobor is good. He's a good bad guy,
Mhm.
but it's because of Lars Mikkelsen. I mean, that guy's just fucking good. Yeah, I don't have a problem. Anya, I can't say her last name, but the girl who plays Yennefer is fine. She, in many ways,
She could have been so much more beautiful and so much better as a character, and they
she's
just
not a
they had it.
woman, right? Jayne,
Right.
she's still an adult girl, and
Yeah.
I always saw Yennefer as like a woman.
She was
woman.
very
Want the
commanding
crime.
in the games too. She's so commanding. Like it's just they really didn't do her any favors with that.
They didn't.
Like Monica Bellucci in her prime.
Oh,
Must be
damn.
still in her prime.
Yeah.
That would have been a good Yennefer.
The contextual gamer for $10. Dominatrix is a natural fetish for simps and feminist men who will gladly relinquish their power in a misplaced attempt to even the power scale, yet they still don't realize they're relinquishing power. It's the constant fight for power that I think has really poisoned the well of Hollywood. I think Hollywood's done. I think they're on their decline. I don't think anybody can even argue that now as the primary source of entertainment. And I think part of it is the political landscape of that place culturally has gotten so fucking bad that all they think about is power. Even the writers used to write, go home to their families, do other things. Now everybody is about getting that next gig, getting more power, staying alive. And why? Like, why? Well, for one, a lot of the writers that rely on unions and these studios aren't good. If they were good, they'd go off on their own, write novels. They have a great opportunity to go write some novels right now. Go write some novels, work out some scripts. You have a lot of extra time. No, they want to be on the teat. They want to be on the corporate teat. A writer who is worth their salt, man or woman, is going to write. That's what they're going to do. So the good ones are going to be fine. They're always going to be fine. The good writers will always be fine. This is about protecting all the bad ones. And I say fuck off. Rebound for £2 British. Wait a minute. This is not the Simcast. Well,
Are you ready for the joke yet?
no, it's not. Okay. It's not a joke. It's just an anecdotal. I was talking about it yesterday. I'm like, every time I go to the Simpcast, you're talking about plastic surgery, tits, or buttholes. And I was kind of joking. And then I went there last night talking about buttholes. Talking about fucking buttholes. I'm like, Jesus.
Hey, to be fair, we were talking about the bonus hole.
That's
which
my
could
fault.
be the butthole or it could be the
I explained to X-Ray Girl what that was on Thursday night during No
I was
Man's
just like,
Sky.
I need to talk about this.
That was my first time hearing it. It was so weird. I was like, what the hell is a bonus hole?
See what I mean? And I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my God. And I mean, like, I'm sorry. I want to talk about nerd stuff, not buttholes. Hollywood's full of buttholes. I can say that. Charles Ratcliffe for $5. I tried to watch episode 1 of season 3 of The Witcher, but I could not finish it. It was like the Rings of Power, the flaming pile of hot mess. Yes. It's Rings of Power bad. It is.
I couldn't bring myself to watch Rings of Power. I would have cried. It would have made me so upset. No.
Yeah.
The one thing that made it better is it's just not Tolkien. That like they don't even try. They don't.
It's fan fiction, right? Like that's what it seems like. It's just straight up fan fiction.
Bad fan fiction.
It's bad fan fiction. I mean, they follow nothing from the appendices at all, and they can't follow the Silmarillion because they don't have the rights to it.
Right.
So they just threw some names in, made up their own shit, brought back Gandalf, and made some hobbits, some Harfoots that they were not allowed to call hobbits.
This is ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Why do it? Why? And it's getting a season 2 somehow. I don't understand.
It is. It is.
to save face, basically.
Yeah, they have to be like, no, see, look, we'll totally do a second season. It did good. Did it?
Jayne,
All right.
Jayne is absolutely right. Somebody, I can't remember what video it was in, but they it was about it was Rings of Power making of a disaster, and there's a whole, I mean, even the media was like, this is not good. This is not a good thing. You guys are failing. Why are you failing? And somebody was just honest for once and said, political capital is what a lot of shitty shows keep getting made because of they're worried about the loss of political capital. People are connected, so that explains Kathleen Kennedy. Citadel, the Russo brothers did this show called Citadel, which is the second most expensive TV show ever made after Rings of Power. And they're both on Amazon, by the way. 6 episodes for $300 million, and nobody's fucking heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
The flagship series to launch this universe.
Keep spending money.
Yeah, it's supposed to launch a universe. You're right. And they're like, and they gave it a season 2, and nobody watched it. It's like, oh, not sustainable. It's just not. Eric did a great video on it about sustainability, and it's all falling apart now. It is. I'm getting a lot of emails going, oh, there's so many more people are about to get fired from former execs. So it's pretty funny. Like it's going down. When a former Disney exec, I can't see who it is, sends me like a collage, like a data racer collage of headlines, and it's all DEI people being fired from corporations, and it's like 20 in the last 2 months. He's all, yeah, I think it's kind of starting to end. I'm like, I think so.
Well, because you can't keep just hemorrhaging money and then not making any return on it. At some point, that has to stop. And I don't understand why they're so short-sighted that they can't look at that and be like, well, we just keep losing money and losing money. We're not going to be able to do this forever. Maybe we should make something good. They're so stupid or so stubborn that they won't. I just don't get it.
I think to some degree it is stubbornness, because you have like the CEO, some of the CEOs are completely bought into this. So they're willing to lose money or invest in their mission to spread this message and create some sort of social change. Like, I think that from their perspective, they feel like eventually they'll get it. Eventually we'll win. And it's like, no, you're not going to ever sell normal people this nonsense that you're trying to create.
Well, it actually seems like it's having the opposite effect, where people are getting so tired of it and so sick of it. And you get people who are otherwise very liberal or otherwise very progressive, and even they're getting sick of it to where they're like, I can't watch this shit anymore. It's exhausting. It's coming from all angles. It's online. It's everything that you watch. It's everything you consume. It's commercials. When you talk about like the men being idiots, that's been around in commercials for such a long time that they've been showing like the guy's always some derpy idiot and the wife has to come in and save the day, and that's been going on forever, and it's just getting worse. Yeah,
that's why they've been shifting to children too. Children's entertainment and cartoons and animation, that's what they've been focusing on now, since they can't get to the adults. Okay, well, let's target the kids. And luckily you see more parents coming forward and saying absolutely not, and putting their foot down.
That's where they did with CRT is, and what I experienced at my school in San Francisco with my kid is he was starting to feel othered. I'm going to use their term, like othered, my kid, and I was like, oh no, fuck no. So we pulled him out, but like there's other parents who are not in that position, and that's why we talk about Witcher. That's why we talk about this in pop culture, because pop culture is culture, and there is a cultural shift, and they were trying to create it, and it's not something you can't create. It's like, I'm going to go out and create a viral video tomorrow. Chances are you're not. And you can't create trends. You can't create authenticity. It happens. But they are trying to engineer it now.
Yes.
And mandate it. And misgendering is a felony. I mean, we laugh at that, but there are going to be people who are trying that.
No, it's absurd.
It's absolutely absurd. It's against the First Amendment, but it is absurd. But they're trying it. They're trying.
This is what they've been doing, though. They've been expanding, even it's slightly off topic, but it's what they've been expanding the whole definition of what is a felony. So it opens it up to the most ridiculous concepts, even if they're utterly unconstitutional. They don't care, because they've just been building and building and building to the ability to do whatever they want. At least they think so.
Absolutely. This one, Jayne's awesome. ladies and gentlemen. You're absolutely right. It's not a felony to steal $860 worth of stuff from a Target, but to misgender somebody.
That is just ridiculous.
Well,
and to insult children. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, go ahead.
No,
Make a
fact
better point than me.
We've seen so many videos of children recording what their teachers are telling them and berating them in the classroom for standing up against this stuff and for refusing to go along with it. I mean, even the kids are waking up to it, and they're just being attacked by the very adults who are supposed to be there to protect them and guide them in these classrooms. That's why you have to pull your kids out of school at this point. I mean, if you can homeschool, you really, there's
Really
very
should.
little choice in the matter.
Yeah, I could not agree more. That like we, my wife and I both dropped out, and she finished way earlier than I did, but we both dropped out. And I mean, I hate to say this, but we're better for it because like I went and finished later when I was older and could appreciate it more, and I just didn't fit in. And I'm, because of COVID, my kid missed a couple of years of school, and a lot of parents got to look at see how they're being taught at home, and they're like, oh no. And I see a lot more parents getting involved, and it's part of the cultural shift. They were trying to legislate and mandate behavior. That is the most authoritative thing you could possibly think of, and it was being fortified, and that's why we are talking about it, because we are being assaulted in every TV show we watch, every commercial we watch, at our schools, by our social media companies, by corporations, by the fucking DMV, by the state. We're getting assaulted with everybody, and finally people are just saying enough, and we're starting to see it fall. And there are signs. And how could the DMV being woke connect to Indiana Jones? It's a culture thing. It's our culture. And when we see one start to crumble, the other will. It's a sign. It's an outlier. So Indiana Jones like flopping. Are people like saying fucking enough? And this show's gonna flop too. And all the other woke shit they come out with is gonna fucking flop, because it always has. They just can't hide it anymore. It always was flopping. They just can't hide it anymore.
And that's the other thing too. Like, the social engineering effort is so overwhelming. They have to infect every aspect of society. And so in order to counter it, we have to stand up in every single aspect of society. So we have to stand up to the government. We have to stand up to entertainment, because it's all part of the same mission. It's part of the same movement and the same messaging. It's all connected.
It's a big club and we ain't in it. And I don't want to be in it. But thanks to you guys, like, and it's going to take, like, I hate to say this is going to sound super stupid, but it takes everybody. We can't rely on some politician to come save us. Some studio head is not going to come in and save fucking Disney. We're going to just make our own shit, and we'll save our culture. I don't know about saving Disney. I don't know if I want to save Disney. I don't know if I ever wanted to save Disney. But it's not about saving a corporation. It's about saving our culture.
And that's where people like Eric come in.
Yep. Damn straight.
And saving our future.
Yeah.
Believe me, they're trying to destroy it.
They are. They really want us not owning anything and being, they don't give a fuck if we're happy about it or not.
No.
Fizzanthorpe for $10. If you want to bring Black characters into fantasy, model them after the erudites of EverQuest. Their story and lore is amazing and done with class. There's a zillion different ways to bring in Black people, Asian people, whatever. For one, you can adapt the mythology of that region, or you can make something up completely different and have regions, because fantasy still has to be based in some form of reality, but you can absolutely explain it and make your own, make something original. That was I don't like Zack Snyder. I don't, as a person, I don't, but I like some of his movies. And at least with Rebel Moon, it was a rejected Star Wars script. He's all, fuck it, I'll go make it on my own. And who knows, it'll probably be better than anything Disney ever produced. And it's his own damn world. And he can play with it however he wants. That's the way to go. And if people like it, they like it.
But they don't want that, though, because it contradicts their narrative at the same time. Like, one of the things I've said consistently is that the racism against Black people in Hollywood hasn't changed. And you can tell by looking at how they represent, quote unquote, these characters on screen. Look at Fringilla. Look at the body positivity mage in this show. Look at Philippa. Like, these things, they're not exactly doing Black people any favors with any of these things that they're just shoehorning us into. It's ridiculous.
It's so obvious that they don't actually care. They're doing it, like you said, to check a box or because they feel like they have to or because it's what's popular right now. No one actually goes, you know what? We actually really do need more Black talent or more female talent. Like there's no sincerity there. And it's so obvious.
Well, it is obvious. You're absolutely right. Because when, I say best person for the job, I would genuinely mean that. I don't mean best white person. You look for the best person. And if you're casting a role and it really doesn't matter and it's not specific, then go for it, man. Cast whoever the best person is. When we talk about it, we're talking specifically about lore that's been established. And if you're trying to buy a brand and sell that brand to the people who have loved that brand, because that's that guaranteed money, that's what makes a brand valuable, then you probably want that brand to look as much as like that brand as possible. And the only places they seem to be making the changes is in the brand. It's not in original entertainment.
Exactly.
Yeah, all I remember about, did you guys see that that show on Netflix? It was with the all Asian cast. Oh my god, all of a sudden beef. I didn't see one negative thing said about Beef. Everybody who watched that show was like, holy shit, this show's fucking great. This is an awesome show. I watched it. I loved it. It was an original show with an all Asian cast and it was just fucking good. It was just good. That's all that they needed to do. And for some reason, they just won't.
Yeah.
They don't know how to write anything good. That's the problem.
That's the
Back to the fact that they have no talent.
Yeah, that part. And the good people don't even want to write. Like Vince Gilligan, I was just in a meeting where we had a big long conversation about Vince Gilligan, who's got kind of fuck you money. Guy can do whatever he wants. Worked with X-Files, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, been involved in some pretty prolific fucking shows. And like, you think this guy would be just writing like crazy. He's probably like, fuck, I don't want anything to do. Could you even make a Breaking Bad right now? Could you make a Breaking Bad?
No.
I don't think you could.
No.
I don't think you could. And that's crazy. That's absolutely
What's sad is that show's not that old either.
not.
It ended what? 8 years ago?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I was just starting the channel when it ended. Because I remember we did a podcast about them possibly like not killing Walter White. Remember when that rumor was coming out that he didn't really die and they were going to do another season?
Oh God.
Yeah.
That would have been bad.
Terrible idea.
That would have
Don't
been really
reboot
bad.
it with a woman.
Oh, God.
I know.
They did that with me.
Oh, wait. Yeah. That about a year from now, we'll get the remake. So, SoFi for 6. What's a pen? What's a PEN?
Pence?
Pence? Maybe?
Let me see. It
Gold?
is
Gold peso?
a soul, a Peruvian soul.
A Peruvian peso. Hail, Peru. I can't wait to go to Peru someday. Amazing.
May.
Since G&G is under attack and can't super chat there, guess I'll do it here. Hail the 199. Yeah. I'm going to retweet that. Our good friends at Geeks and Gamers got demonetized.
Yeah.
That is such crap.
It is crap. They're working on it right now. And Jeremy and Ryan and the gang are working on it behind the scenes. Jeremy will be live on D-Day Cobra tonight to talk about it some more. I think the best thing you could do is retweet his tweet at Team YouTube and try to refrain, please, from calling Team YouTube any names right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to help.
Trying to be
our
nice.
friends, Geeks and Gamers, but I'll keep you updated once I hear anything. But please support them, my good friends. I'm super concerned right now, but yeah, and I heard about it like right before the show, and I was like,
Sucks.
Yeah.
just proof that they can pluck you whenever they want, indiscriminately. We think it's an error. We do think it's an error. So Jeremy's working on it right now. Fanman 344 for $20. The Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. So thank you. Good song. Then there's The Frisco Kid, which is a great movie with Harrison Ford and Gene Wilder. If you haven't seen it, it's a freaking classic. It's great.
I've been so burnt out on a lot of the new media, new movies that it just every time I leave the theater, I'm bummed out about it. So I've actually been reviewing like older classic movies lately, ones that I just missed and haven't seen. I just did Boogie Nights, which was awesome.
You didn't see Boogie Nights?
No, there's like a few classic movies that I just totally missed for some reason. And so I'm going back and watching them and reviewing them. And it's just such a breath of fresh air to watch something that's good, like good writing, good acting. It's so nice.
Boogie Nights is one of the single greatest films ever made to present what a subculture is. Like it really defines, because that's what I grew up in a subculture. It wasn't
Same.
porn, but yeah,
Same.
I grew up. I grew up,
Oh.
in drugs, and it
Same.
absolutely there you go. It absolutely captured the spirit perfectly of what
Yes.
that life is like.
Yep, absolutely. And just there were some really phenomenal scenes. That scene with Alfred Molina was like unreal. It's some
I've been
really impressive performances.
I've been in a room like that with a bunch of tweakers with guns and music playing. You're like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Dang.
John Jensen for 10 Canadian pesos. Thank you. Admittedly, I haven't read the books. I enjoyed season 1. I thought season 2 was not as good, and it appears I won't waste my time watching season 3. Don't read the books. Take your time reading.
Read the
Play
books.
game.
That's what I'm gonna do, because I didn't read the books, but I've watched the Witcher 3 playthroughs. I've played a little bit of the game, and I really liked season 1 and season 2. It wasn't as good, but I still found stuff to like about it. And then this season just bummed me out, so I'm gonna go read the books.
Yeah, I was a little hard on the first episode, but actually the first episode of season 2 is pretty good. I'd say it's in line with that story. I love Last Wish. I still think Last Wish is kind of the best. The short stories, the flipping the fairy tales on their heads. It's like the best audiobook to listen to. I think it's fantastic. Blood of Elves.
They're starting to do illustrated version of the books as well, which has been really nice. They've got the 2 so far, I think.
That's cool.
But
And
as
then,
Jayne said before the show, books get a little weird as time goes on.
Yes.
The Elric saga. Speaking of, because I know Razor Fist will thank me for this, because Razor Fist, big Witcher fan, by the way. Not really. Elric saga is all collected now, and you can get it on audiobooks. If you're a fan of The Witcher, go read Elric, because it's fucking awesome. It is awesome. Awesome stuff. So if you want to get into older stuff, Elric. Super Chair Destroyer for $5. No schoolgirl outfit in the stream, Zia?
Oh, I'm sorry. I felt like this wasn't the appropriate time or place for that, but maybe next time.
Whatever you like. I don't judge.
That's nice.
Should cosplay Yennefer.
I mean, I don't judge you guys. I'm Hollywood. I judge.
Yeah, Yennefer. Yeah, if I could get my hands on that black dress, I'd wear it everywhere. Every stream, people would be like, "Why are you wearing this?" Because
I have it.
Yes.
John Osterman for $1.99. Keep up all the good work. Why, thank you, John. I appreciate it. Glad you think it's good work. Not so sure myself sometimes. I mean, the ladies are great, but me, I don't know. I don't know, man. Graham Sheehan idea. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Is that a word?
I don't know. But I left it because I have no idea what it could be otherwise.
Okay. Idea of the war for position that precedes revolution, also called the long march through institutions. They rot the foundations before toppling the whole thing. That's why they target kids. Absolutely. Because that's where it's a long game. They've been playing it for a long time. And when they joke around saying we're coming for your children, they're not joking around. They're not.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. And it's not just the political side of the alphabet mafia. It's all the 3-letter agencies. And 4-letter ones. I got some 4-letter words for him. Robert McNeil for $5. Episode 3 killed me. This has to be one of the worst scripts ever. And I hope writer's strike never stops. And guess who wrote it? Haley. Our girl Haley, who was the patriarchy smasher in her bio.
Anytime someone has anything like that in their bio, I know they
It's
suck.
so cringe.
It is. Like, can't you just be good at what you do? Is that so hard?
Yeah. Episode 3 was a special kind of bad. The dialogue was woof. I've heard like podcast audio fanfic stuff way better. Like way better than that. Like how they could present that on screen is fucking embarrassing. They should be embarrassed.
They should be embarrassed, yeah.
Shout out to the Rippaverse selling 25,000 issues.
Couldn't do it without y'all. We just released cover D, I think, as well. So we've got a new cover. Our mass print cover is out now.
I heard there was a woman who lives in the attic of a Goodwill giving Eric advice on selling comic books.
the bald lady?
Yeah.
Yeah,
still don't know.
she's exactly who I would go to for business advice.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering, like, I mean, serious question, because I don't know her. Is she a former comic book retailer? Is she a publisher?
I have no idea. I had never heard of her until I started seeing the tweets, the back and forth. I don't know who she is, and nor do I really care who she is. She's not worth my time nor energy.
Just, I would say, like, Eric's pretty fucking good at selling comics, like really good.
Yeah.
Eric could own a comic store. And
the thing is, he's not trying to gatekeep comics. He's showing that, hey, the door is open. You can do it too. See, you can do it.
I mean,
it's not him saying, hey, I'm doing this. You can't do this anymore. She's like, hey, we want creators to see that it's possible to kind of do our own thing.
Which is awesome.
All it is.
A little more work.
Like that.
That's all. Yeah, you're going to have to take on some of the heavy lifting if you want to go out there on your own. But Eric's very good at it. Kind of nice to see.
He's a really good businessman.
It's which her, not which him. 84 for $2. That's good.
That's a good one.
Really good. That is really, really good. I'm going to totally steal that from my video title, The Witch Her.
That is a
call it the
joke.
Bitcher, but it's probably better called The Witcher. It sounds funny. Hello, Nerdrotic and lovely ladies, says Kenneth Burrows. Milady, get your little hat on, tip it. There you go. Brightest Day audiobooks and science fiction has sent a smile super sticker. Hail, Brightest Day. Been around this channel for years now. I really appreciate you putting up with me for that long, buddy. Good dude. Andrew Valdez for $99.99. Holy shit. As soon as Henry announced he was doing Warhammer, it was over for The Witcher, because Warhammer is absolutely an enormous despite what people say. I actually remember when they were making fun of him and didn't like dude, you have absolutely no idea how much it makes. Oh, as far as the Warhammer thing,
Warhammer is very popular.
Rakes in the cash. There was a hobby store down for me because I didn't know anything about Warhammer, so I didn't get into it. Same with Magic cards. I'm like, I'm not going to do things at my comic store. I'm not going to do things I don't know anything about. So the San Francisco hobby store, we became friendly, and they had like little hobby paints. They had electronic trains, and then the half store was Warhammer, and they made all their money from Warhammer. All their money from fucking Warhammer. They did very well.
X-Ray's learning about Warhammer.
Yeah. Painting. Hopefully playing soon with the 10th edition coming out. So
there you go.
We'll see.
It looks fun, and I've avoided it because I already have far too many addictions. But stories I can get into, fine. But don't ask me to start buying figures. And no.
Where can you put them?
No way.
I've been banned from buying books at my house. My husband is like, there's no more space for books. You're not allowed to buy more.
Not even first edition hardbacks.
I mean, in that case, it's worth an argument. I do it anyway. He'd understand. He'd understand.
I don't know, find a kid, get a kid, make a kid, maybe. I don't know. Because like I have a kid, and like some of my books just start going in his. I'm like, kid, oh, you want these trade paperbacks? You'll read them. They look really good on your wall. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you
his room.
You like Clive Barker, right? Great.
Yeah, you like had some time. Well, he likes Five Nights at Freddy's, so he's getting there. Had some time to binge it this weekend. Only made it through the first 2 episodes. Then I bailed out. It sucked. $5. Yep. After the 3rd episode, I was fast forwarding through the fucking show. I fast forwarded through the gay scene. Sorry, didn't care. As soon as I saw them,
why would you? You're a guy. Look, I don't mind gay scenes at all. They don't bug me in any way, but I understand why they skeeve dudes out. And like, who do you think is watching this show? It's predominantly straight guys, right? Like, there's not a bunch of gay guys. Well, actually, maybe with Henry there is, but It's possible, but I think like it's going to skeeve straight dudes out because it kind of goes against the biology of their nature, right? Like it doesn't necessarily mean that you're phobic or you hate gay people. It's not necessarily something that you want to see. So putting it there is a little bit short-sighted in that way because guys aren't going to be like, oh yes, I can't wait to see these two men kiss. Why would they?
Yeah, like a big long scene, and like that. Does it make any difference to the story?
No,
No.
None.
absolutely not.
Even the lesbian scene, I don't think would attract.
They didn't need that.
Nope.
They managed.
And if they were going to do it, could they at least do it with a hotter girl for
I was
Pete's
gonna
sake?
say they made the most uninteresting lesbian scene probably ever.
Her hair.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a bowl cut.
She looks like a boy.
Yes.
Oh.
That was so bad.
And no boobs.
I did feel bad for my poor
None.
husband. I was like, I have Henry, even if he's not shirtless, he's still there, and kind of. And you get no boobs. No boobs. It's not fair.
Mhm.
Primark Vulcan for $1.99 says wheat intolerance, not wheat beer intolerance.
Oh yeah, I thought it was funny they snuck that line in.
Oh, for
The gluten.
yeah.
Oh,
When she was eating the
in the city.
donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kid couldn't because they
Oh.
needed to have the kid get emasculated. It's at every fucking turn. It's maddening. Oh, I'm gonna do a video on this. It's not gonna be breaking down the plot because I don't give a shit. It's gonna be a little racy. I'm gonna explain how this particular woman cannot write fantasy and cannot write men. She has no fucking idea what she's doing writing men. We always heard criticisms like men can't write women. Sure, okay. But I think good writers can write anything. Good writers can write anything.
Because good writers need to have empathy. You have to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the character that you're writing, whether it's a man or a woman. If you don't have that, it's not going to come out well.
And you can't hate your characters.
That too.
You can't.
Kind of
Kind of
helps
important.
to not. I mean, like, it's better to not know anything than to actively hate them, which she does. I'll
just
take somebody
pathetic.
new, yeah, like who's like open to the idea. Extent that's like, well, I want to adapt this Witcher show, but I really hate this toxic masculine Witcher. Okay,
Then
Viva
go
La-
write a different show.
Yeah.
right, please. Viva La Dirt League YouTubers did a spoof series of The Witcher. It was a joke and had more heart and soul than the Netflix series. I'll have to watch it. Thank you, Ace 158920001 for $5. Lucas Halastra for 25. What's a PLN? Oh, is it Polish? Is that one Polish?
I think it's Polish, yeah.
There you go. Polish peso says people in Poland hates the woker. Most season 3 reviews are negative, even in mainstream media. Let's call it Yennefer Adventures, pure bait and switch. Yeah. Perry tweeted today that they should just call it the sorcerer or the sorceress,
Yeah.
which would
Yeah.
be more accurate. But now it's the witch her. I like that. That's
That's really good.
the witch her. Fat Steven, what's up, buddy? For 2 Canadian pesos. Remember the remember panel to watch Gary play Gollum. I don't know if I'll do that again. I don't know if Az can survive it.
Poor Az and Mahler, that whole stream.
That was fun though to watch.
It was very entertaining to watch. I'll give it that.
Oh, it so was.
I'm playing The Witcher. I'm going to probably do a members Witcher thing this week because I'm like, I'd just rather play the game. I
Need a
think that's
palate
it.
cleanser.
Yes.
That's why I waited to watch the Indiana Jones trilogy until after, because that will be my palate cleanser.
Smart.
Because I've watched a lot of shit in the last week, and it's so funny that they're like they're piling it on. We're getting like movie after movie, and then they're on strike again, and we're going to be like COVID times again. It's going to be nothing. It's going to be so weird. Lady Gravemaster, who is not supposed to be super chatting. Gary, I am not a grifter. Also, Gary, have a kid so you can have an excuse to put more things. Yeah. Yeah. LOL. Also, unless I missed it while making lunch, has anyone tapped on the yen ego boost from Siri? Your powerful perfection. Yeah, fucking. Oh, it's filled with that. Oh, when they said that, it's like, oh, Bechtel test. Ding.
Oh yeah, that was throughout the episodes as well.
It was.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, it's more women talking to women. That's real. Okay, are they talking about anything that'll move the story? No. Okay, never
No.
mind. Fat Steven says, remember, Amazon has Fallout series coming. Oh, made by the makers of Westworld.
That's right. So does that mean the first season's going to be great and then it's going to be truly terrible?
Probably.
They may just start with terrible this time.
They might. Well, they
That's
might.
true.
Didn't they,
I mean,
they-
if it's the writers from the end of Westworld, it's gonna be bad.
Oh, why do they keep ruining good things?
I don't know. Westworld can be watched as one. Just don't even think about there being
One
a
season.
One
Yeah.
season.
First
It-
season's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I thought they were like really going to explore consciousness. That's my naive ass was thinking
Yes.
about it. No, it's AI robots killing people, whatever. And it all ended up being a simulation. That's where they were going, by the way. It was all everything's a simulation.
Wow.
Within a simulation. And everybody guessed that within the first fucking season, kind of like with Lost. Like, oh, they're in purgatory, or they're dead or something like that. Best line in Ash versus Evil Dead. I've got a brand new spanking hand and a brand new spanking hand. I don't remember that line. I've got a brand new spanking hand. I think that was that.
I've
When
got
he
a
got his-
brand spanking new hand or a
Brand
brand
spank-
new spanking
Okay.
hand.
See, I
There
can't
you
read.
go.
I was like, I don't know.
No, that's because he got a hand instead of his song. He got like a robot hand.
Ah.
He got a robot.
Oh, I don't know if I could do a robot
I
hand.
just fucked that up. Sorry, Nuclear Winter Game. I apologize. For 5 Canadian pesos. If people have not seen Ash versus Evil Dead and you like the Evil Dead movies, watch it. It is absolutely a sequel to the Evil Dead, and it's sent by Sam Raimi. Bruce Campbell comes back, and it's like the Cobra Kai of horror. They introduce 2 new characters who are very likable, and Ash is Ash. Doesn't change. He brings back the Deadites on a date, and he gets fucking stoned, and he starts reading out of the Book of the Dead, and then he's trying to think like, how did the Deadites come back? Fuck, and then he opens the book, and an empty bag of weed falls out, and he goes, "Oh fuck." So good. Oh, it's so good. Remember when Firefly was considered expensive? Smooth the DJ.
Firefly.
What
It
a
hurts
great
my
show.
heart that we never got more of that.
I know.
So
Yes.
sad.
But they shouldn't touch it. Don't touch it.
Don't touch
Yes,
it. in
agreed.
today's
Now?
time. Do not touch it.
Agreed.
Stay
No
far,
Firefly.
far away.
No Joss Whedon, no Firefly. Brightest Day audiobooks and science fiction. Demoralize, destabilize, crisis, normalize. Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep, that's
Problem?
the plan.
Reaction, solution. Government is here to keep you safe.
They're trying to cause more division. And
Yep.
I don't know how people aren't seeing that either. It's very
That's
obvious.
exactly what they're doing.
So obvious. Let's just make everyone hate everyone. We're going to go do this stuff over here, but you guys won't notice because you're fighting.
Oh, and like, even though the woke stuff is like starting to fall now, it's going to take a couple of years. This is still going to take a couple of years. You're still going to see clap back, and and then there's an election. Oh,
I think they went too far with the kids' trends.
they did.
Yes.
That's what fucked them up.
Even the,
Yeah.
the Young Turks went off on that. Of all people in the world,
Wow.
they're like, you guys walked. Well, they see it as walking into a trap. I don't see it that way. I see it as they absolutely were pushing the envelope as far as they could. And yes, they went after kids, and a lot of people drew the line.
That'll unify some people.
It's a losing argument. It's an absolutely losing argument. And it will be all the time in this country. Slain Hope for $2. Now they teach kids to take candy from strangers. They do. I mean, essentially, that's what it is.
Don't tell your parents.
No.
So if you're part of a movement, you need to start calling that stuff out a lot, or it's going to greatly damage your movement. It already has. Summer of 1970 for $5. I just want a good second season of Tom and Chip Hardy's Taboo series. I know. When waiting for so long, that's such a good. Now that is a move. I guess it's a show that didn't get fucked up. It only had one perfect season. So
I started that one and I need to finish it.
it's so fucking good. It's so good. Tom Hardy's. It's done by the same guy who does Peaky Blinders, Stephen Knight.
Oh,
And it's about a guy who survives. He's on a slave ship and he survives, and he ends up getting saved by a tribe in Africa, and he comes back, and his dad works for the East India Company, and it's about like the War of 1812 and British Vancouver Island, but it's also got like supernatural stuff in it. It's a really fucking cool show. It's a cool show.
all right. You got me with the supernatural stuff. I'm in.
Yeah, and Tom Hardy plays like basically a super. He's got a top hat on, and yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Love it.
Oh yeah, and he wants to have sex with his sister, so they have to mix him.
Oh,
Well, you know, it was
that's-
successful in Game of Thrones, I guess.
Yeah. Brain Sync for £2 When I was a kid, I used to watch The Jeffersons, Arnold, Prince of Bel-Air. One of my favorite action heroes is Bruce Lee. Not even once have I questioned their race. This woke is based on lies. Agreed.
It's entirely where they're calling people racist who clearly aren't racist. It's they're making bad products and then telling people who don't like it that they're racist, which just doesn't even make any sense. No one had any issues with Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies. Like, everybody loved that. There are so many good examples of it throughout time that people are like, no, this is phenomenal. This is great because they made a good product. That's really all it comes down to. 99% of the time you hear about someone who's supposedly really racist or right wing or crazy, and then you meet them and you talk to them, and every single time you talk to them, you're like, oh no, they're actually just like a normal, very reasonable, not racist person at all. It's so bizarre.
I think it's going to take more of the actors actually coming forward and acknowledging when their characters are done dirty. Like we saw with Finn and John Boyega coming out and saying, no, they actually did set my character up to fail. And that is not what they told me he was going to be.
Yep.
Across the board, he was the most interesting character from that damn first trailer. It's like, oh, what is
absolutely
this? That is interesting. You know, and they made him a janitor. That's kind of fucking racist.
A little.
Known as poor now.
Yeah. I know, God.
And then in the oh my God, all of a sudden the posters in Japan, they're like, we'll make him this big and we're gonna back China. Sorry, not Japan. Which is like, are you fucking serious? So it's okay for other countries to be racist. We'll pander to them, but we're going to talk down to the people in this country who aren't racist. Like, it's so ridiculous.
But I think they're projecting anyway, because you tend to see movies like Fast X do incredibly well in China. And it's like the most diverse movie ever.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, that's absolute bullshit. And the fact that they covered Chadwick's face is pretty.
Oh my God.
Oh, with Black Panther?
Pretty telling.
Whoo.
Yep.
Oof.
They made the Little Mermaid poster very blue. So she
Blue.
just person.
Matt Faxine for 20 Canadian pesos. I have an idea of how they could save the DC universe. They could do a mini series based on New Frontier, which is a fantastic book, and would show the transition between the Golden Age heroes and the Silver Age heroes. What do you think? I don't know if I wouldn't worry about a universe anymore. I would just adapt that. That's a really good story, and it would be a hit movie. It would be a hit movie. It's a fantastic story. Darwin Cook. Matt Guy for £2 Go Team Venture. Oh my God, we are 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away from Venture Brothers. So happy. Thank you, Matt Guy. The Spectre for $4.99. The new indie movie made $152 million this weekend. That's counting today, right? That's counting today. Does this change the trajectory of it being a total flop, or does it mean it could break even? Not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's not going to break even.
It still hasn't made its money back.
They need
it costs
500, right? At least.
It cost over 300 million to make. Add 100 to 150 million to the marketing budget, but it's usually you have to make 3 times your budget. 3 times 300 million is 900 million. This movie ain't making money.
I don't think it'll ever.
No, and it's also too long. It's got horrible word of mouth. It's not like Guardians. Guardians had a soft opening weekend, but it had really good word of mouth. People were like, no, kind of liked it. Really good. Not everybody loved it, but it had decent word of mouth. And that's what gives movies legs. There is no word of mouth on this. There was none with Flash, and they're flopping very hard. Night King 01 for $4.99. The Witcher should have done what the best books did, which is anthology stories. Every week, Geralt solves a new problem and moral lesson is learned.
That's what I want. That's
the
exactly what I
missing
want.
thing. The
Yes.
moral lesson, because we're not getting a lot of that from the stories. It's just, you go, girl.
You're
Lauren,
getting propaganda from the story.
You
You're
are.
not getting the story.
Netflix and Lauren Hisrich thought they had their Game of Thrones. They did. The first season was pretty successful. A lot of people were talking about it. It essentially came out the year Game of Thrones ended. So they thought they were the heir apparent. Guess not. Oh, well. Shamish on the Streamlab side for $10. All hail. Or hail all. There we go. We can do either way. How do I keep my chill in these times? I'm in my mid-20s in California's Bay Area, and I usually feel alone in my dissatisfaction with current media. I feel like I can't enjoy the things I love anymore, but you all keep me sane. Thank you as always. Oh, how do I keep my chill? I've seen a lot of bad shit. So, I mean, just point it out. It's going to get better. You just got to talk about it. It also helps greatly to be out of an area where so many people don't agree with me anymore.
They're good people over in California. You just have to find them. And I mean, I don't know where the Bay Area is, but if you go to San Diego,
shunned into seclusion.
Oh, is it close to San Diego Comic-Con? You can meet people there,
The Bay
probably.
Area? No, it's San Francisco, so it's 500 miles.
Oh, okay, never mind. I don't know geography.
No, San Francisco's got the Bay Area's got some cool places, but I mean, generally it's run by a hive mind at this point. So it's kind of like it's just not a fun place to be. It used to be a fun place to be, not a fun place to be anymore.
That's about how I felt when I left LA.
Yep.
Go to Texas.
It was time.
I am so much happier here. People are just fucking cooler.
They're just nice too.
Yeah.
Just random people on the street.
I love living out in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina.
There you go. North Carolina was very nice.
Yeah,
Robert,
you were out in the mountains too.
I was.
Good area.
I was near Asheville, and I avoided getting shot because I left early. Robert McNeil for $5. Dune is proof that there is still good writing and original lore can still be properly adapted. I agree, but then you have to get I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but he did a very respectful job with Dune, I think. Denis Villeneuve, blah, blah, whatever his name is. He's obviously 1,000 times more talented than most people. I thought Blade Runner 2049 was trash, but I fucking hate that movie.
I like it.
I liked
That
it.
gasp from Jayne. She was like,
1,000 suns. I hate that movie.
We're not an echo chamber. See?
There you go.
look at that.
But he did a great job with Dune. Dude did a great job with Dune. Undeniable. And
Cannot wait for part 2.
Yeah, he's one of the, he's got juice. He's got some juice, so he's not going to put up with these any agendas,
He's one of the people who has proper understanding of lighting and how it can really affect cinematography.
Yeah.
So this is where we miss the strong creative force because they wouldn't put up with that. Like Nolan, love him or hate him, is not going to put up with any of that shit. Not going to do it. Matthew Vaughn, not going to do it. These people, Guy Ritchie, not going to fucking do it.
The Covenant was so good.
And we don't have enough people like that who are just strong creative forces. And now they're trying to mandate writing rooms for everything. You can't do that. Writing rooms suck. They mostly suck. And they came from something that was misinterpreted. Like Joss Whedon on Buffy and Angel had his team. They weren't a writing room. They were a team. But Joss was the boss. Joss was the fucking boss. He controlled the entire story.
As it should be.
As it should be. Mad Max for 200 yen. Thank you. Playing Witcher 3 right now and listening to you guys talk about the show. The game has game stories like A Knight's Tale and Blood and Wine have more heart than the show. Absolutely. I'll probably reread Last Wish. I love that book. It's so good.
It's so good.
Mr. Pelzig for $2. Too late. They are bringing Firefly back. It'll suck. without
No,
Josh.
are they
No.
really?
Yes, they are.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they got to get something for that Fox deal. That was a dumb deal. Woo, that was a fucking dumb deal. Iger's an idiot. If you think about it, before we take off, we got 4 more super chats. Disney, I know we're talking about The Witcher, but Disney has never been, and other people have pointed this out before, they've never been a full-on movie studio. Not like Warner Brothers or Paramount. They made animated kids films. They dabbled in. I remember when Touchstone came around, because that was their first rated R movies. It was very controversial with Ruthless People and Down and Out in Beverly Hills, which are good movies. But they didn't crank out studio level movies all the time like Warner Brothers or even MGM or Paramount or United Artists back in the day, or 20th Century Fox. That's a recent phenomenon for them, relatively recent, and they're not good at it. They're not fucking they can't make television worth shit, and they can't adapt IPs. They just suck. Wolf Cult, thank you for the $1. I appreciate it. Gary's Wizard Beard, thank you for the Canadian peso. Zodlander that's a good one. Zodlander. I love that. For $6.92. I was in tears when Geeky Sparkle from Clownfish TV was crying in the last video. Indiana Jones 5's bombed. She was so sad, and also she is right. Watch it to the end. Stay cool, and wow, what a panel. I didn't watch the rest of that video. I'll have to. I watch all their stuff. Indiana, see, this one, I knew this one was going to hit hard. I didn't quite know for people of my age, ladies. Indiana Jones, when I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, I liked it more than Star Wars. I walked out of it liking it more than Star Wars. I'm like, Indiana Jones was cool. Like, he was cool. Fucking cool all the way. Wanted to be an archaeologist. Went down to made my dad drive me to Tijuana to buy a whip, like a real whip.
So cool.
And had the hat, the whole fucking thing. Indiana Jones was I kept all of my toys. My map room playset, I have the one I bought when I was a kid. I've never opened that box. You know how fucking hard it is for a kid not to open that box, but I knew, I'm like, this is gonna be worth something someday. And it's still here. I'm pointing right at it. I still fucking have it. I still have all my Indiana Jones shit. It was my favorite fucking thing. And for Kathleen Kennedy to do this, like, I don't know if she's gone or not. She should be gone, but like, this is the nail in Lucasfilm's coffin. Good.
She should never have had that job.
Nope. VWTAZZ for $10 says Central Cali is mostly conservative with all ag and oil. You're right, but they're surrounded. We work for a living. Yes, you do, and you need to secede. Brain Sync for £5 Ellen Ripley, Sarah Connors have always been icons for men and women. Badass, relatable, flawed human beings. Intersectional feminism killed strong female characters, and it's the worst enemy of feminism. It really is.
Yeah, especially for true feminists too. It's like, Jesus Christ, you look at this stuff and all it's doing is hurting the original point that they were trying to make.
Exactly.
It's not, because it's not about equality. It's about usurping power or
domination,
special treatment.
Domination, yes, and special treatment.
Yep.
Terry
And
McCann.
deconstructing men.
Yeah. Lovely to see my future ex-wife's sister here. Evening, you esteemed ladies, and Gary, you wonderfully bearded fellow. Thank you for what you all do, says Terry McCann for $4.99.
Oh, Terry, that's what he's talking about. Sorry, he's talking about my sister-in-law as his future ex-wife. That took me a second. I don't know why. I was like, wait, what?
Who on the panel?
Thank you, Terry.
Okay.
Got it. I don't know why that took me so long.
Yeah, I was not following that one. But it's cool.
Thank you, Terry. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry. All right. If you missed any part of the stream, I'm going to keep the link up. It'll be unlisted, but I'll keep the link up, and then it'll be re-uploaded on Nerdrotic Live. So catch it there, and then it'll be on Spotify and all the other things. So let's go around the horn here and find out what these ladies are doing next, including Carolyn. What do you got coming up? Anything?
Oh, goodness. This is actually a busy week for me. I will be on Toxic Femininity tonight on Midnight's Edge. Tomorrow I will be on Drunk 3PO's channel. And on Wednesday, I will be on Side Scrollers. And on Thursday, I've got No Man's Sky with the lovely X-Ray Girl. And then Sunday, I'll be on Simpcast. Yay.
Does that game work now?
Yes.
Okay, because I the last time I heard it just didn't work very well at first, but I remember my friend
It's a
talked about it
completely new game.
when it was in beta and saying like, "This is gonna change the world, man."
I was working at GameStop when it came out, and it was just horrible. And then it took a couple of like their big updates, and then it's actually like
good.
X-Ray Girl can tell you I got her very addicted.
Yeah, I spent 95 hours playing this game.
Wow.
Since in the last month.
Since Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't know how you find time to do that. I wouldn't
Well,
even...
actually, I was playing this while watching The Witcher. I do that a lot while I watch TV and do my research and stuff. So
That is smart.
Steam Deck for the win.
Thank you, Kara. Jayne, what do you have coming up?
Well, I always have my television and movie reviews and pop culture commentary on my channel at Jayne Theory. I have my Saturday morning streams where we get into the craziness of the week that has been happening in pop culture and society, frankly. And then we have Sunday Fun Day, a gaming stream with Quarterback Garrett and X-Ray Girl.
Awesome. I love your Saturday morning streams. I love your morning streams.
It's great to have on while you're just getting a coffee.
Get my coffee going and waking up. It's perfect. Thank you, Jayne. And well, we're gonna do part 2, right? I mean, we might as well finish it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We should.
Really excited about it.
Better watch it.
Nail in Henry Cavill's coffin.
Oh,
right.
we can all cry at the end. That was it.
Zia, what do you got coming up?
I pretty much, not pretty much. I left Twitch and now all my content so far has been on YouTube. So I'm pretty much just over on YouTube. Zialand there, Xialand. And it's just a mishmash of all my interests, which include food, pop culture. I've been reviewing old movies. I just did one with Brian Johnson. We did Boogie Nights. That was awesome. If you know him from Comic Book Men, Brian's fantastic. And boobs, we talk a lot about boobs. Love those too. So
there we
What
go.
about the bonus help? No, I'm kidding.
And that's a bonus hole.
On the next episode.
And X-Ray Girl and I actually have some stuff coming up. We're going to do you want to talk about it now or do you want to wait?
Yeah, I actually told
Yeah?
Gary yesterday, so he might be joining for a few in the future.
That would be awesome. Yes. So Doctor Who is one of my favorite shows of all time until Jodie Whittaker, but we won't talk about that yet. And so X-Ray Girl has never seen it. So I'm going to rewatch it with her and we're going to discuss it. And we're going to go back and forth between our YouTube pages. So make sure you're subscribed to both. We're going to start on X-Ray Girls next Monday. I'm so excited to talk about this with you. Oh my God.
6 p.m. Eastern.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'm very excited for X-Ray Girl.
Yeah.
I know. First time.
It's going to be so exciting because everyone's talked about Doctor Who so much and there's so much love for the franchise. And this is the longest running franchise?
Longest running science fiction franchise of all time.
My dad grew up watching
Matthew
Doctor
Hammond's
Who.
going to come in and say it's Stargate, but it's not. It's Doctor Who.
My sisters are both really hooked on Doctor Who, but I've never really, I think I've seen maybe like 5 episodes.
It's so good.
But my sisters are hooked on it.
So I'm excited.
Awesome. And what do you have coming up?
They basically explained it all, so it's all good. Thank you, guys.
X-Ray Girl gets around.
Apparently, just like Yaskier.
Including having sex with polymorph while it's an animal.
No, not that. Not that. I denounce that part.
That's like a furry's dream. Furries are like, wait a second, that's a thing.
Yeah. God. I can't throw things at my home theater because I like it too much. So I just
don't break the home theater. Not like your monitor.
I have a pillow I throw on the floor. That's what I thought. There's like a little pillow on our couch. I throw it on the floor. I go emotional damage. No. All right. Thanks everyone. Thank you to the Nerdrotics. Thank you to everyone who left a super chat and donation or became a member. Welcome to it. Yeah, I guess the next member thing, well, we're going to do a member stream and which is talking to members within the next week and a half, and then I'm going to do some member Witcher gaming. But in the meantime, I got a video came out. Is it yesterday? It's yesterday.
Yep.
And thank you. It's performing very well. So I really appreciate it, everybody. And I'll be back on the Real BBC tomorrow. Is it on whose channel is it on?
It's on Az's channel.
On Az's channel. On Az's channel. On Heels versus Baby. On Heels versus Babyface. And then we have Friday Night Tights with
Melanie Mack.
Melanie Mack. That's all chicks around here.
I
now.
don't
What the
know. It
hell's
just
going
ended
on?
up that way.
Gary, you're such a feminist.
I know. Feminist icon.
FNT.
That's right.
Progressive,
That's
and
me.
you didn't even know it.
Didn't even know.
I think we can call this the Monday Maidens or something like that.
Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day. Please, support our friends at Geeks and Gamers. And take care.
Bye.
Bye.